And welcome to the 16th episode of the New Podcast. My name is Steven, joined as always by producer extraordinaire Kelly. But hold the phones, scratch the record. I have a co-host coming at you. I'd like to introduce you to Morgan. Say hello, Morgan, to everybody out there.
What's up, listeners?
Let's get to it. Good buddy of mine, and this is just going to add to this show already the awesome organic evolution of the show. Let's get to it. Start ourselves off here with some MMA news around the world as it happens. Slow week, 0.0 MMA events to even announce on. Really nothing around there. The ONE FC had something earlier in the week, but it was really kind of an undercard card of their up-and-coming talent. But other than that, this is going to be the first show with no MMA really card to report on the breakdowns or anything like that. We'll still be able to entertain you quite nicely, so stay tuned. One of the biggest stories coming out this week, and I love this matchup, Diego Nightmare Sanchez versus Mickey Gall. I like that. That's got good ring to it. That fight's going to be a great matchup. I'm really excited to see the two banging dudes. Mickey Gall on the way up, Diego Sanchez on the way down. I got to ask both of you guys, who do you think takes it? Morgan, who do you think takes that one? Diego Sanchez, Mickey Gall.
I'm going to go with Diego Sanchez. I don't think Gall's ready for the night there.
Wow.
When was the last time Mickey fought?
I think it was up against Aljamain Sterling. Let's take a look.
A while ago, wasn't
Yeah, it was actually. I think it was pretty sure it was in the summertime or something like that. Let's take a look here.
I agree, though. I think Diego Sanchez is definitely going to take that one.
To step up in competition, Gall's primarily been fighting kind of lower, newer guys that are new to the game. Diego's a veteran.
It's true. Very, very true. Very excellent points you make,
He's
Morgan.
probably a little too confident right now, based off the people he's been fighting as well.
He did just lose, so maybe that humbles him. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to disagree with both of y'all, and I'm going to say Mickey Gall takes this handily. I'm going first round finish even. I think he walks through an older Diego Sanchez who's really lost maybe 2 steps at this point. But it's going to be, I agree with what you're saying, Morgan. It's going to be his first tough test today. I think Aljamain Sterling was one of that was tough. I keep saying this, but let me take a look at his record here. Randy Brown he lost to. No, he hasn't fought Aljamain Sterling. Randy Brown he lost to. So he loses a decision to a relative nobody and then beats George Sullivan. So he did fight more recently. He fought, it was August 25th, Gagey versus Vic. He did fight. Let's break down the 6-degree separation a little bit here. Mickey Gall, not very big, but Randy Brown, who the hell is this guy? A relative nobody as well. He just lost to Nico Price, actually, by KO. So not looking good that, Mickey Gall loses to a dude who just next fight he gets worked. Not a great record for the guy either. You know what I mean? Coming out of that, guy is only 10-3. Not the best, but not the greatest. But if you're in the lower levels and you're losing and winning, not a good start. That's not what the UFC wants to see. They want to see the guys in the lower levels crush their competition, move ahead, and then you come up against when you're getting the real names. When you come up against those guys, they give you a tougher time. That's totally normal. That's what's supposed to happen, especially in the UFC, with how deep the roster is, how deep the talent is, especially in the top 10, top 20 even. You're gonna come up against a lot of tough dudes, and those guys are getting paid when they go to other places. When you have that UFC moniker, former UFC fighter moniker on your resume, that added a lot of money to your next paycheck if you were to become a free agent. No matter win or lose, doesn't really matter. Like that matchup, can't wait to see it.
Is it at 170?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
170. Yeah, I think Mickey Gall is more of a natural 170. I think Diego Sanchez is probably going to be harder for him to get down to 155 at his age. Another perfect example of a guy who could fit into the 165 division very nicely would be Diego Sanchez. I think he's just always kind of been right in that middle wheelhouse. A guy who's fought at 170 and 155. Maybe did his best at 155. I think he fought for the title against BJ Penn. He did get massacred. Or I think that was a fight, that was like a number one contender eliminator bout against BJ Penn when he really got worked. I can't remember if it was for the belt. I can't remember, but that was about as close as sniff that Diego Sanchez ever got.
I remember he actually started at 185
Yeah.
pounds on the Ultimate Fighter.
Right off the
and
show.
won it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden he was like a lightweight or a welterweight after that.
No, exactly. That's what I was saying in a show earlier about having an open weight class on the show, and to reference that show was even Kenny Florian, who he beat on that. It was no way. Kenny Florian never fought anywhere near 185 after that again.
He was a 145 after it.
Yeah, he fought at 145 and 155.
I could be wrong, but I believe he was a 185-pound cage rage champion.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. Yeah, maybe it was like one of the, back in the day when dudes, were about beefing up, you know what I mean? Everyone was about packing on pounds. You remember that? Everyone, everyone talked about that. It was never about weight cutting or anything like that. It was about packing on as much pounds on your frame as physically possible. I remember being berated for not weighing enough at this job a long time ago. The guy's like, "You need to pack on some pounds." I'm like, "I'm good. I'm pretty good, actually. I don't need to pack on any pounds. I'm all right." Oh, shit.
You're wasting away.
I'm wasting away. Manja. Other huge news coming out of Bellator, Lyoto Machida announcing that he wants to fight the winner of Musashi versus Rafael Lovato Jr. But as of later in the week, obviously it was announced that unfortunately that Gegard Mousasi has pulled out of his title fight against Lovato Jr. because of a bad back injury. I hope this doesn't sideline Musashi for a long time. As well documented, a very, very awesome fighter in the books here over at Anu Podcast Show. Love Gegard Mousasi, and back injuries are bad though. Very unpredictable. How badly it's going to affect him? How severe is it? It must be pretty bad. And that's just one thing. It's just tough to heal. It's tough to get surgery on. It doesn't, there's no perfect textbook to say, yep, this is your problem, here's your solution, especially when it comes to your back, and especially to a fighter. We saw as well, Kelly, with Cody Garbrandt. After his back surgery, he was never really the same, too. He looks like he lost a little bit, so let's hope for this back injury isn't too bad for him, and he can fight. But does this open up now a fight between Machida and Rafael Lovato Jr. for maybe a interim title belt or something like that, depending on how long Gegard is going to be out for? I like that matchup. I think it suits best for Bellator to not let that division go stagnant. They have some decent talent coming up, and especially with the likes of Gegard Mousasi being in there. And for Machida, obviously, they want those two dudes to match up. That's number one. They want those two dudes to fight each other really, really badly in their rematch. But I don't know if Machida, he had a bad showing, obviously, but so did Gegard when his first fight in Bellator. They weren't given easy walkover dudes. They were given some of Bellator's brightest and toughest. But this guy, Lovato Jr., he's up and coming, undefeated, great grappler. I don't know if Machida can really hang with him on the ground. He's got good jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't. Obviously, his stand-up is where it's at. Maybe he can use his stand-up to stuff the takedowns and to really keep Lovato Jr. at bay with a nasty karate jab or something like that, and maybe take it that way. But if it goes to the ground, I think it's going to be a slam dunk. Is it going to be for an interim title? Is it going to just be for just another title eliminator fight? Next guy will fight Gegard. Only time will tell. We'll find out in that. Awesome one coming down the pipe here is another awesome matchup. We had nothing but matchup. Lots of news this week. 0 fights, but Thiago Santos versus Jan Blachowicz. That's going to be a huge fight. February 23rd. How is Santos only ranked 7th in that division? That is nuts. I think it's maybe because he's normally fights at 185 too. I don't know. I think this is at 205. Yeah, I'm 100% sure this fight is at 205. So Jan Blachowicz coming up. And Jan Blachowicz is ranked 4th. Like, that's how bad 205 division is right now. I know the guy's got some victories, but he's really never proven to me to be like that stone cold killer. He's got some good wins. He's got some decent submissions. He's decent on his feet. He always had a hard time with Jimmy Manawa, I thought. And Jimmy Manawa's a tough dude, but both guys had beaten Jimmy Manawa, but Jan's fought him twice and almost lost to him twice too. So I don't know. Who do you think takes that one, Morgan? Thiago Santos versus Jan Blachowicz.
I'm probably going with Thiago Santos.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a bit too much.
Yeah,
He's
I
putting
totally
a lot of
agree.
pressure on guys. I don't know if Jan Blachowicz is the real deal.
Yeah, I totally agree. I couldn't agree more with that. Just because he's got a little bit of everything, but Thiago's
great
just
at anything.
Yeah, exactly. Thiago's just powers. I think it's just gonna be too much for him in the end. What do you think, Kelly? Who do you think takes that one? I think it's going to be a great matchup.
I'll go with you guys.
Yeah. Right across the board, Thiago Santos. You could place your bets on the link below.
Probably a good chance that you should bet on Blackwood.
So
That's how we help you out, folks. Just do exact opposite of what we do. Great strategy to go with. I like that matchup, though. Another one to mark your calendars, folks. This one is going to be fireworks. Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens versus Zabit Magomed Sharapov. Ooh, boy, that is going to be lightning and fireworks. That's going to be everything. Magomed on the Natural Born Killers list for the New show. And I can't wait for this one. This is what we talked about earlier in the show, a real step up in combat, and that's what we're going to see here. We're going to see two dudes dazzle on the feet, and it's going to be an amazing matchup. Mark your calendars for that. UFC 235. Cannot wait for that one. Hot tamales in Las Vegas is where that one's going to be. It's going to be a good card. They've already announced quite a bit for this one here in Vegas. Let's take a look here. UFC 235, Las Vegas.
The Little Heathen matches are always good.
Oh, every time. Exactly, yeah. And
Especially my money.
especially against a stand-up striker like this. Oh, this was the card that was actually moved from 233. This is the 233 canceled card. So they're really adding some good talent to this one. This is the Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren's on this one. Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens versus Zabit Magomed Shaparov. And Tisha Torres is also on the card. And then Mickey Gall and Diego Sanchez on this card too. So they've already got quite a good little stacking of fighters right now.
Who's Tisha Torres fighting?
Weili Zhang.
Okay, yeah.
18-1. I can only assume probably Chinese. Let's take a look here. Let's break down 6 degrees of separation. Weili Zhang. Oh, she's got a cool nickname, Magnum. I wonder if Weili Magnum Zhang. Okay, that's not bad. I like that nickname.
Does she have a mustache?
No, she does not. She should wear one though, like a big fake mustache down to the ring. You know what I mean? I think
PI.
Yeah, Magnum PI one. I like that. I think that'd be great. Wow. It looks like she just lost her first fight. That's the only fight she lost. Was her first fight, and holy moly, hasn't really fought anybody.
Jessica Aguilar's a pretty good win.
Yeah. I just meant like in her earlier career, she hasn't really fought anybody. You know, fought underneath the Kunlun fight. Must be the Chinese organization or something like that. And then had two wins in the UFC in her first two fights, which is a good sign. And exactly that. Got actually armbarred Jessica Aguilar in the first round. So that should be an awesome fight. Up and coming girl against a very tough veteran in Tisha Torres. Tisha Torres, you know, still looking good at her age, and fight-wise, she's not one to be looked over. That's for darn sure. Especially for a Chinese fighter to come over to America and fight like this. You know, Tisha Torres is an amazing wrestler.
She's a great kickboxer too.
Yeah, great kickboxer. She's gonna be put to work. I hope Weili Zhang worked on her takedown defense, because it's gonna be a long night if she hasn't. Mark your calendars though, folks. I gotta take Zabit just for being on the list. Dude, just so good on his feet, so good on the ground. Definitely got to go with him. Another is a Gegard Musashi type fighter. Can't wait to watch that one. That's for damn sure. And already showing UFC 235 as being a quite stacked card. They got to add like a title shot or something like that. They don't go to Vegas as much as they used to anymore. Obviously, they're more of a worldwide brand. But the Vegas shows were always the best shows by far. You know, that was their home, obviously, and they always have great shows in Vegas, just because that's the only place really they could go in the first part of their tenure.
That, and I think Atlantic City at the beginning too.
Yeah, Atlantic City, exactly. Yeah.
But those crowds weren't as big. I think they only held about 6,000-7,000 people.
Yeah. We're in Vegas. They were selling out. It was a good show, and the celebrities were coming out. It was great. Always put on amazing shows in Vegas. Dominic Cruz out again. Back injury with him as well. Oh no, it's shoulder. Sorry, shoulder injury. He's got some severe muscle damage in his shoulder, and he's out for a year. So there goes his fight, and probably his career. Dominic Cruz, is he the most... I gotta ask this question to you, Morgan. Is he the most injury-prone fighter ever?
He's definitely up there.
Fuck,
He might be the most. Him or Cain Velasquez. I feel like we get like one Cain Velasquez fight, you know, every year or two, and it's the same with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dominic Cruz, exactly. Yeah, fights once every 2 years.
And he instantly becomes a contender every time he does.
Yeah, exactly. Both those dudes always will be. But here we have Dominic Cruz out again, and I feel sorry because he's actually a good fighter and he's exciting to watch. Bit of a D-bag, but that's what most fighters are. You got to have that bit of that D-bag edge.
I actually really like his analysis, though, on the Fox
Yeah, he
podcast
is.
that he does.
I'm sure we'll probably be seeing more of him just because
He's
of that
really
injury.
good at breaking down fights.
Yeah, he is a fight genius when it comes to that. That's for damn sure. If he does come back, though, I think a Cody Garbrandt fight would be the best for both of them, though. I think a rematch. Cody, I can only imagine what kind of situation he's going to be in a year from now. If he's going to be on the up, is he going to be on the down? When is he even going to fight again? I think more than anything, those 2 losses hurt his ego and his mental psyche more than anything than his physical body. I can tell you that. Especially the second fight was just a straight one-sided beatdown where one guy was a deer in the headlights and the other guy was trying to kill that deer in the headlights.
Do you know who's been injured a lot but still has fought? Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, yeah, Tito. Yeah, he was
That's
one.
true.
He's
He
well
had so many
documented.
back surgeries
Yeah.
and everything.
That neck surgery they showed on the internet where, like, you could actually see them going into his spine.
Yeah.
His neck.
And he's
Super
still
gross.
fighting.
Yeah.
I do think that if Dominic Cruz were to fight Cody Garbrandt again, it would be a good idea to bring a breakdancer into his training camp. Time kicking him in the head when he comes out of a spin or something.
It's like a b-boy drops down some cardboard on the mat, and then he's like planning on how to attack him while he's doing some spins or something like that. That's hilarious. Well done, Morgan. Well done. Very sad news. Vitor Belfort coming out of retirement. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you should stay retired. Obviously, I can only imagine that my thoughts are that he's going to fight Tito. You've heard it here first, folks, on the Anu Show. I can guarantee he's going to be fighting Tito for Oscar De La Hoya in California. Makes tons of sense. Rematch for those guys. Both at the end of their career, far past the end of their career for Vitor. And it's another winnable fight by Tito. And I can guarantee it's that. But I bet you people will buy that fight, actually. Another good matchup. And I can almost guarantee that it makes tons of sense for those two dudes to fight for the Golden Boy promotions. It's gonna do good in the seats. I can guarantee that as well. Good move. If it is going to be that, I hope he's not going to be moving back to the UFC or something like that, just because he just doesn't have it left in him, unfortunately. Vitor, very good fighter throughout the years, one of the toughest dudes on the planet, has great wins on his resume, but it's time to hang him up, move forward on your career and doing something else, maybe have something to do with Brazilian MMA.
I think he might actually do all right if he goes somewhere without USADA testing.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's true.
He was looking so small in those last couple of UFC fights compared to what he was.
Like ONE FC, kind of
Yeah.
like where Brandon Vera is. Brandon
Yeah.
Vera is huge, man.
Huh?
He's like a mutant, like a Hulk version of himself.
That's
over
true. Yeah, good call,
Kinda
Kelly.
like
Yeah,
when
good
Overeem
call,
got
Kelly.
big.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think ONE FC wouldn't hurt. I don't know really if they have anybody at, I guess 105,
Well, he could probably
205.
go up if he's allowed to juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be fighting Brandon Vera.
That'd be a good matchup.
They could have fought, I guess. They could have fought Vera versus Vitor in the UFC, so I guess that matchup just never happened.
Did Vera ever fight at 205? I know that he was saying that he was going to win the heavyweight belt and then go down and fight Chuck Liddell at 205, but I don't remember him ever going down to 205.
I don't either.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
I think he
did.
lost a couple times and decided to juice overseas.
Yeah, well, he lost to Randy Couture at 205, I believe.
Yeah. Was that 205?
I
Was it
think it was.
205 or heavyweight?
I'm pretty sure it was. And he did he lose to John Jones too, I believe? Let's take a look here.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Let's take a look. I know it's been such a long time since we've
Talked about Brandon Vera.
since we've seen Brandon Vera in the big lights. Let's take a look. Breaking it down, 6 degrees of separation. Brandon Vera from Norfolk, Virginia, which is kind of weird. All right, he's on a 4-fight win streak in ONE FC, but he's not really fighting talent here. But he lost to heavyweight Ben Rothwell, also Shogun. He fought Shogun too.
So that must have been at
Yeah.
205.
Oh, Elliot Marshall as well was at 205. Thiago Silva, that's a 205 fighter. And then John Jones he lost to, and Randy Couture. Oh, Krzysztof Strozinski he fought as well. That guy was on that movie what the heck was it called? Here Comes the Boom.
Oh yeah.
Remember he played like the
yeah.
like the
He was like that
antagonist.
tattooed up like Winnipeg Polish guy. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He was
exactly.
on the Ultimate Fighter, I believe.
Yeah, he was on the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, exactly. And he is from Winnipeg and he is Polish. He lost to Keith Jardine too. Oh,
That's
not
bad.
not the greatest record. He lost to Fabricio Verdum, lost to Tim Sylvia. Oh, but his big win was obviously Frank Mir. Remember when he beat up Frank Mir? But it was when Frank Mir had just returned from his motorcycle accident. It was like pretty much a shell of himself.
I believe that's the fight where he called out Chuck Liddell.
Really?
Said that he was going to go after the UFC heavyweight title and then go get Chuck's 205 belt.
That didn't work out for him too well. I remember he did get Tim Sylvia right after that for a title shot. But Tim Sylvia was way bigger than him. You could tell how little he was. I think that was the beginning of Tim Sylvia's very boring reign. and why
Jab.
Yeah, why the UFC hated him, because he was one of the most boring fighters ever.
Stuff, jab.
Hold you up against the fence, pitter patter you
Sometimes knock you out.
if you were really bad.
Arlovsky.
Khabib has been reportedly offered $15 million now to fight Conor, and his dad has come back and their team and have countered and said
Same location. Sorry.
they come back. No, Kelly, they didn't ask for that. Unfortunately. They asked for 30 mil. I think they're playing a smart game here. The longer they wait, they don't need to do anything on Conor's time watch. The whole world's going to do shit on their time watch now. And I think the longer they wait, the more money Khabib is going to make. I say have another fight first, fight somebody else. Don't fight Floyd Mayweather. Don't do that at all.
Not Tony Ferguson either.
No, I
That's gonna be a
think
tough one.
I think it's going to have to be Tony Ferguson.
Oh, man.
I think it's going to have to be. Well, hey, maybe roll the dice. Maybe Tony Ferguson gets injured. Yeah, but you got to fight Tony Ferguson next. You're talking a lot of smack about the champions fighting, and Khabib was, and I think he has. I think he has to fight him.
I think Tony deserves a fight. I just think Khabib it is winnable for Tony. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? Like,
It
but
totally
it's also
is.
winnable for Khabib. It's like whoever's better on that given night, I think.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time. Whoever got the extra sleep in, whoever got that extra workout in, I think Tony's going to come in hungrier than Khabib, obviously, because he is the challenger, and this is his big opportunity. When that fight happens, I hope we see it sooner rather than later. That's for sure. 50-50 basically toss-up when it comes to that. I could see Khabib holding him down, trying to just basically working on some kind of... Tony's no slouch off his back, but when you're dealing with a high grappler like that, I think you got to maybe give it to Khabib, maybe the slight champion's edge. I think is the only thing you can do. But then fight maybe Conor, depending, especially if you get a loss, maybe that number drops, obviously, but... If he's the champ, is that fight still even on the table? But I say you hold out for 50 mil. I say Khabib holds out for 50 mil, fights Conor, and that's the only way I would do it. Fuck it. I don't got to give him time a fucking day. I wouldn't.
Well, Khabib's going to only make a lot of money in a Conor McGregor fight. If he fights Tony Ferguson, he's going to get just typical UFC title holder defense money, like 500 G's or something.
I know. I'm more excited about the Tony Ferguson fight than the Conor McGregor fight.
I am
need
too.
to see that again.
Yeah.
I am too, but money-wise, if he's talking about a payday, it has to be the Conor fight.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets 750, but I hear you're saying usually the later weight classes that you're maxed out at 500 grand. You know, then you'll get plus, right? You know what I mean? But it could just be straight up 500 grand, no bonuses, no nothing.
But
So,
if it's a Conor fight and he gets part of the pay-per-view
Yeah.
revenue, that's a lot of money.
obviously on top of whatever else he gets. But I think they're doing a smart move, holding out. The longer you wait, the more that check is going to be. And where does Conor fight? Who does Conor fight next? You know what I mean? Where does he go? Especially, he's going to have to wait. Obviously, he's not just going to get an instant rematch.
One I was thinking that I would love to see for Conor is him versus Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, that would be a really good.
pretty
Yeah,
crazy fight.
I think it's another easy matchup for Conor though. 'cause-
Probably, but that's what you want. You want
Yeah.
him to get a win and establish himself
No.
back as a winner.
No,
and then
he's
get
got
another title shot.
That's what the promotion wants.
That's what
Yeah.
UFC would want.
That's what
right?
UFC wants now.
And that's what a lot of fans would want too.
Give him Tony Ferguson.
Just ruin his legacy.
Exactly. That's what I'm about.
Khabib would love that because if Tony Ferguson wins, whatever, he was going to have to fight him anyway. But if somehow Conor knocked him out, he dodges the bullet of Tony Ferguson and gets to fight Conor again for a bunch of money.
It's true. Yeah, that is true. That would be a much higher profile fight too, especially coming off that win. That would propel him actually back into the standings. I could agree with that, but I wouldn't doubt, man. What would the betting odds be in that match? Who do you think would be the favorite?
Tony Ferguson.
Tony
versus
Ferguson.
Khabib?
No, Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor.
I think Ferguson would be the odds-on favorite in the Vegas line.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
But I think Conor would be the favorite in the Irish.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nothing bad about the Irish.
Everybody
They love their people.
Obviously,
Everybody
exactly.
be pulling for Conor except for hardcore MMA fans.
Yeah, especially not me. Can't stand you, Conor McD-bag. Other MMA news, Nick Diaz is saying he has not signed a fight to fight Jorge Masvidal. He has just straight up reportedly saying, even though Jorge is saying, no, the fight is signed, Nick Diaz is saying, no, the fight is not signed. No disrespect to Jorge Masvidal and to his team, but he's saying, I have not signed any fight. I'm not planning on fighting in the UFC right now, which is, just adds to the crazy Nick Diaz saga. And then Colby Covington comes out, and apparently Colby Covington said that Nick Diaz turned down to fight him at UFC 230. And obviously Colby Covington came out with a tirade of shit to say about Nick Diaz, saying he's washed up and a bum and he should stick to hitting women, and because he can't fight dudes anymore. So, and then Nick Diaz responds with a drunken video. It's getting a little bit weird here. Maybe Nick Diaz may have a problem here. I know he's obviously loaded. And he's got he's saying he has a lot of business ventures he's been dealing with. So he invested his money properly, and I think he's obviously living off that. Good for him, because you got to think about that when you're a fighter. Your long-term goals, obviously, because you can't be taking punches in the head in your 50s. That's for damn sure.
Would love to see another Nick Diaz fight though.
No, me too. I think that's the reason why the rumor is that Bellator is going to scoop him up. Him and his antics, and the UFC just going to say, go ahead, fucking take him. We'll trade you him for a ticket to go see the Flyers or something, you know what I mean? Like a hockey ticket or anything. They're just trying to get rid of him.
I think that's a bad idea if they were to try to get rid of him or trade him for somebody, because I don't see them getting somebody that's going to draw as many pay-per-view buys as a Nick Diaz would.
No.
He's probably up there as right behind guys like John Jones and Conor McGregor and Brock Lesnar.
That is true. They would be giving up something with that. That is a great point, Morgan. He does draw people. He definitely does with his antics, and his in-ring ability. He's a tough ass dude, and he's never really finished. He's a great striker, amazing on the ground, true MMA fighter. But I think it just makes more sense that he's going to be moving to Bellator now than the UFC. I think the UFC is just done with him. If he's going to keep this up, saying reportedly signing a fight, then not signing a fight. So we'll find out where the Nick Diaz saga lasts and ends. Does he fight Colby?
Possibility though. It is a possibility that if he's saying that the fight was never made, maybe he forgot agreeing to the fight. The guy smokes a lot of weed, and you're saying he was all hammered in that last video.
That's true. He signed it and didn't know what he was signing. He just signed with a happy face, and then with smoking a joint and then smoke lines.
Nick Diaz did what GSP didn't do. He fought Anderson Silva, 185, and he went the full fight with him, did he not? He
did.
Clowned him a bit too. He was up against the cage. He even laid down for a little bit, telling him to lay on top of him. Man, that guy's a good fighter.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Legit.
No doubt about that. That's why he will get signed by somebody and get a lot of money. I think he just, how he is.
He did get whooped by GSP though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody has.
Yeah, everybody did.
I think he's just holding out for more money. He wants a big paycheck, I think.
Dan Hardy got whipped by GSP too, but that fight made me respect Dan Hardy so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every submission that he went after. I remember one part he was bending his arm all the way back, and he just would not submit.
His arm was super bent out of place. I don't know how he didn't submit on that. A few of those arm bars were just nasty. And GSP even said that he hurt his balls tweaking on his tweaking for that arm bar so bad. He was like, "How is he not tapping? My balls are hurting." So it's just he's no quitting Dan Hardy, that's for sure. He had a really good career. I think he called it quits at the right time. He's great color commentating guy, and I hope he gets a decent amount of money for what he does. I think that'd be obviously a dream job to move into, especially for a former fighter. To be that color guy, you really need to be that former fighter to have that insight, and especially to have someone who has actually a ton of UFC fights on their resume, ring time, and even a title shot too. You can't ask for a better guy than that. Obviously, Dominic Cruz is one. I like Paul Felder, and Daniel Cormier is obviously my favorite for the color guy. He's going to be tough to beat. Even rumors saying that Daniel Cormier was going to be at TLC. They didn't confirm if he was at TLC last week, but that's what he's apparently going to be transitioning to as well. If not, the rumors are swirling that he wants to be a huge part of WWE. If not a wrestler, he wants to be a commentator. And that's fun as shit. I would love to be, that would be the coolest thing ever, to be a commentator for WWE, for any wrestling organization for that fact. And a guy with his mic skills are absolutely amazing. For Daniel Cormier, the possibilities are endless for the dude. The sky's the limit.
I think WWE'd be dropping the ball if they didn't at least have him wrestle a few times before they transition him into the color commentary position.
Big time.
Because you could do him versus Brock Lesnar in a wrestling match after they fight in the UFC, if that happens.
That would be huge. It would probably be one of the biggest events ever for anything to watch. If they had an MMA match and then a WWE match, that would be absolutely crazy.
And then if it's tied after that, they can have a skip rope competition.
Straight up old school tough, like the straight up the straight up boxing match that they had in WWE. What the hell was that called?
Oh, Tough Enough.
Tough Enough, yeah,
Make
exactly.
them do that Beastmaster thing.
I don't know
That'd
how.
be tough for DC, man.
Exactly. He's pretty round. I don't know.
True. But DC manager's always full of energy, so excited. He'd probably be like, let's do this before he fell, you know what I mean?
I don't think he takes supplements. I think he just has a lot of sugar in his system.
That's hilarious.
Just all candy.
It's all candy and Captain Crunch. That's all he does. That's all he eats.
His pre-workout is a fucking Black Forest cake.
The whole cake.
I like that Captain Crunch. It's like, you're what you eat. I eat Captain Crunch, so I can be Captain Crunch.
I love how... is it Derek
Worst
Lewis
cereal
that
ever.
has the Popeye Chicken sponsorship?
Yeah, that'd be
That's
the
the
best.
best.
That is the best. Popeye lifetime supply of Popeye's chicken. That's it right
When
there.
they give you a life supply of that chicken, they know you're not going to live that long anyway.
the more you eat, the more you eat, the ticker just keeps going down.
If you only come once a year, they're good because you'll live long, but it won't
you ain't
be
gonna
too
eat,
much.
and you ain't
but if
gonna
you're
eat
going
much.
there all the time, you're not going to live long.
Huh?
My daily lunch.
You get like a Popeye chicken tombstone.
Here lies Derek Lewis. He ate a lot of Popeyes.
Sponsored by Popeye's Chicken. What's oh yeah, what the hell's their slogan? I think it's Louisiana Fast. Something like something like cooking in something's cooking in Popeyes. We don't get too many Popeyes commercials up here in Canada, unfortunately. I wish there was a.
I don't know a lot about the place. Is Popeye the Sailor Man like the sponsor or the
no
mascot?
No, I think it's totally different. I think Popeyes has to do with something like it has to do with something with food. Oh. I think it's I think it has to do with something with some kind of food or some shit like that. If I could be mistaken. American fans, hit me up. Tell me what this whole Popeye chickens thing is all about. I've had it before in the States before. It's actually quite good, but it's it's just like a kind of our equivalent to Church's chicken. Where everything's kind of just actual chicken. There's nothing fancy with it. I actually had Popeyes on the. I wish I had Popeyes, but I actually had Church's chicken last night. After I was here, I went and had some Church's chicken. Fucking delicious. Church's chicken. You want to hit me up with a lifetime supply? You go right ahead. There's one of the best places to eat. KFC ain't got shit on Church's chicken. I tell you what. And they're expanding their actual menu. It's actually fucking delicious food. Yeah. Fries too. The fries. Everything I had was
that wild rice thing they have as a side is pretty good too.
The Munchums. You have those?
I've had those too.
Yeah, I really like those.
This episode brought to you by Church's Chicken. Man, I wish I
We're
didn't mess that
open
up.
24 hours a day and at really shady areas all across the lower mainland. Like the
It
one,
is always on the shadiest corner.
isn't it? Yeah, it is.
There's that one on Kingsway,
Yep.
the one on King George.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're all at really weird places, and but that's the one I went to. I went to the one in Wally, and it
Say
was
no more.
it was I had problem free, but man, everything I had was cooked perfectly. It was like 2 a.m. Everything I had was cooked perfectly. That doesn't, I was extremely inebriated, so but I wasn't disappointed at all. Be right back after these short messages, folks. Water, it falls out of the sky. So all you have to do is go outside and open up your mouth. Water. Rollin' Rock Beer. 4% of delicious golden richness. Also made with water. Drink Rollin' Rock today.
I didn't know I could just go outside and open my mouth, so I went and
I
bought
know.
a 24 pack
I
of
know.
this shit for $3
Exactly.
to save on.
Water, it comes in bottle form and tap form. Drink up. Water.
High quality H2O.
We already covered like washing your balls.
Yep, washing your balls. Yep.
You could also like just go outside when it's raining and like stick your ass in the air.
Yeah, that's true.
Wash your ass. God's bidet.
Water, it's God's bidet.
Water. Don't drink too much, or you'll need to piss.
God dang it, I drank too much water and I'm gonna piss myself. And welcome back, folks. I hope you enjoyed those brief messages and go get yourself a glass of water on the house. One last thing I want to talk to you about before I get into my take is Karate Combat coming back again. They're planning on coming back strong for 2019. They've already announced, I think, something like 10 shows they're going to do this year. So I'm like, holy shit. First show's going to be in LA. And I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. It's just such a unique organization with all the events that they've had. Just at these cool little places. I wish I could have seen the one in Greece. That one looked like the coolest. They had like a whole Coliseum thing going on. But the coolest thing is the crowd. It has like such like a kind of like a blood sport crowd where it's like everyone's in ties and suits and it's only a small crowd. So that's what I really, really like about it. I think almost the most is it's kind of how it's like a secluded club, you know what I mean? A very unique, invite-only club. I think that's just really cool.
It kind of reminds me of like a level on Street Fighter 2. I can't remember which like player it was in Street Fighter 2 where they're kind of in like a area like that with people all standing around and sitting around watching all dressed up.
Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about.
Cannot remember which character though.
I think it was. I almost want to say it was like a DJ level or something like that.
I think you're right.
I think it could have been. Yeah, love Street Fighter, but Karate Combat coming back strong again in the new year. Let's look up the stats here on them.
I like that that's on the UFC Fight Pass too.
Yeah, exactly. Huge thing that they are on the UFC Fight Pass and Karate Combat. Man, it's not hard to find them, but I think they're actually owned by like a Bitcoin bank or something, so that the money is there.
Oh, so they might be going out of business soon. Like Bitcoin apparently is not doing well.
No.
Still, everyone who's sold out on it, you know what I mean? Everyone who sold on it, if it goes low, that thing was like worthless at one point. It was
it's worth a lot more than it
obviously,
originally was, but it came down substantially from where it went to.
But they had the cool show in New York, which is the one I watched and reported on this show. What a fucking super cool event like that was, to be in New York and like on like the 130th floor of a building to have this cool little underground fight. I thought that was super cool. The Athens one was even cooler. I would hope they go back to Greece. I thought that was really unique. And then the Miami one, and then the Miami one was super cool because it was like in a marina. You know what I mean? Like it was in a marina. There was like a lot of expensive cars parked there, and that's when I noticed the first, because they had like a big Bitcoin symbol in the middle of the ring. And then their first one was in Budapest, kind of weird enough. In Hungary was their first event. I can't wait to see what Karate Combat brings in the future. I hope they get some big names. I would love to see some big names go over there and fight. Maybe Anderson Silva. I could see Anderson Silva, or even Lyoto Machida. A karate dude. I would love to see those guys make the transition over to Karate Combat.
Is Sage Northcutt karate?
He is, yeah. He would destroy everyone in that. He could be like the 5 weight class champion in Karate Combat. I think he would work dudes.
Machida too.
Yeah, exactly. Machida, exactly.
How does Bitcoin sponsor things?
I don't know. That's what I didn't know. Yeah,
digital currency. There's supposed to be a finite amount of it.
Yeah.
Like they don't make any more. No one's getting paid. It's not.
It's like that's why I assumed maybe it's like a Bitcoin bank or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like they invest the money people have in it.
Yeah.
Into sponsoring things just to promote it, which will in turn help it grow, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I can see that.
There has to be somebody doing some sort of management for it. It can't just be like some sort of fake entity that nobody has control
of. Or somebody just has like tons of it and he just wants
like I said, they're the bank. They're the Bitcoin bank.
That could be it, yeah. I think that's a very good possibility.
Yeah. There must be. You know what I mean? It has to make sense, but it was kind of weird that they even would have the symbol there. So I was like, why do they have the symbol there? And then I read an article where they actually, Bitcoin's like backing it. So I'm like, how is that even possible? But I digress. I can't wait for the next Karate Combat show. I want to see more Karate Combat. Like I said, I want to see more dudes make the switch over. Let's see what kind of money they got there. And I wonder what those fighters are getting paid. If they have the money to be able to lure these people. Because all the dudes like from the show I watched, they're just like tough dudes who own like they have like 2 jobs. You know what I mean? One job is being like a karate black belt, like teaching kids karate at night, and then like they'd work at like a grocery store by day. You know what I mean? So who knows how much money the show really has? We'll find out. Like I said, much more down the pipe coming from Karate Combat. Let's see what they bring up.
Being on UFC Fight Pass will help them.
Of course, huge.
That's some good exposure.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing for like TKO as well right now.
Oh yeah. Then
TKO used to just be on like Fight Network in Canada. Now it's on the UFC Fight Pass. People all over the world can watch it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I watched the last show and it was actually pretty good. It actually, it was a bit weird with the touch base on the dude, the grease guy, not wearing gloves, but which was kind of weird.
Karate Combat. Do you hate people but love watching people get knocked out? We have the event for you. So close you might get blood on you. Sorry if you get AIDS.
Yeah, hit us up, Karate Combat people. I would love to do like tough to go with Bas Rutten, but we'll give you some promotion. We'll give you some sponsorship. Yeah, I'll get one of those when they come. If they come locally, I want one of those tickets. I tell you that much. I think I don't know what the whole ticket price is because it's invite only. So how do these people get on this invite list?
If they come to Vancouver, they should do it at Brandy's.
I don't think they have the floor space for that.
That's where everybody's well dressed.
No, they don't have they'd have to do it somewhere cool. If they were to do it, like our closest major city would be Vancouver. Obviously, it would have to be there. It's definitely not going to go to that shithole of Abbotsford. It'd have to go to Vancouver, but there's the possibilities are endless. I think it would be.
They go to Abbotsford.
No, exactly. They'd probably go to the Commodore. I'd have to say 100% the Commodore is where they would go.
I can see that.
Just like a bunch of antisocial people standing around.
Exactly. Well, it looks like they're kind of mingling. I know it is kind of weird. Like I said, how do you get on this list? How do you get on that list? That'd be super cool.
Maybe they're just all extras.
Maybe I could see that. They're all just paid actors. I could see that for sure. I wouldn't put it past them. Just like all you have to do is wear a suit, or they'd even give you a suit at wardrobe.
It's like the staff. What do we get paid? You get to watch.
Damn it. All right, it's like, all right, cool. What are we watching?
I wasn't
like
actually sold
this
until I
weird
watched it.
amateur karate stuff. Oh, okay. I think most people would probably be upset. I was wanting to talk a little bit about some video games here, but Mercenaries. What a fucking amazing game. Before I get into the take here for the year-end review, I wanted to get some video games, man. No MMA this week. You know what I mean? First time ever on this show I didn't have some MMA to report on. But just that's the way the cookie fucking crumbles, and talk about some other shit. But Xbox One right now, backwards compatibility, they bring out Mercenaries for free for everyone who has Xbox Gold. Fucking awesome game. One of the most. I played it when it was out when I had it for Xbox. I even bought it again when I had a 360. Game way before its time. Have you guys ever played this game? Mercenaries for original Xbox?
I think I may have back in the day.
I played it. I got stuck in the beginning somewhere and quit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pathetic.
No, it had a little bit of tough parts like that. What I noticed when I first played the game was I had played for such a long time, and the fucking thing glitched. It's like my disc. It had like a scratch in it or something, and I could never get past a point. After I would do one mission, it would glitch out, and I could never get past. No matter what I did, no matter what I would do, it would always just glitch. So, but I played the first one and beat it. But to play it now, man, like just to have it stack up against games that are even to today, it is fucking amazing. Like it's like a GTA style of an open world, but it's LucasArts, which is the coolest thing. I always loved the LucasArts engine, just with how you shoot, you jump, you kind of hop around, but it's just such a cool game with everything that goes into it, the guns, the realism with your weapons, kind of working for factions, so you get different vehicles to come around between, whether it be a shitty ass Jeep to a huge ass tank, and you can call dudes to come and fight with you. So you go up to a place, and there's different factions. You call up to a place, honk your horn, dudes get in your vehicle, so you got dudes manning your guns and shit, and you can go and cause hell. It's fucking super amazing open world game. It gets no play though. Super underrated. If you have not checked this game out, check it out. Well worth the time. And like I said, right now it's free on Xbox. So I say go out and get it right now. So unique. And it's still, I don't know how, it never was replicated or got enough steam behind it to do a second one that was good. The second one sucked because they had one come out for 360. It wasn't open world. How are you going to do this game and not make it open world? I do not know. But the other cool thing about the game is just the missions. What you do, you have missions between these factions of, you're in North Korea, like a fake North Korea, and there's different factions. Everyone's trying to get in there to help the battle. There's the UN, there's the Russian mafia, which is kind of weird. There's South Korea, and then China. And so you do different missions for each of them, and you get all these different drops. So through the Russian mafia, you get drops. So you can have a helicopter come and bring you a fucking tank. You can have a helicopter come bring you a Jeep, or have a helicopter just come and be there for you. Buy it, and you call it like it was a PDA, like it was like before cell phones were really huge. Because the game came out in 2005. That's what I was looking at. Like, fuck, this game came out in 2005? It seems like forever ago. But such a game that still holds up to its greatness. I'm just so impressed. I'm playing it right now, and I'm fucking having a blast. But they have this also with the main mission, though, is that to collect these 52 cards. You have 52 cards, so there's dudes all randomly strewn about, and they're like leaders. They're like generals or sergeants, and you can't kill them. You have to knock them out and then throw them on a helicopter. So you're in this fucking war zone. You got to kill all the dudes around this dude. You crank him with your gun and knock him out, and then you tie him up and put him in handcuffs. Then you have to throw down a fucking grenade, like a smoke grenade, for a helicopter to come. This huge helicopter comes in, you load the dude on your shoulder, walk him over to the helicopter. It could still be a war zone. There could be other helicopters attacking you. There could be dudes like firing a fucking rocket at you or some shit. Throw him in the helicopter, you get the money. That's what it's all about, because you're a mercenary, right? Hence the name, mercenary. But I thought that was like such a unique. What other game has that now? Like a whole capture ability where like it's not just like a, you know what I mean? It's tough to do sometimes.
Have you played Just Cause?
I haven't played Just Cause, actually. I've never played it, actually.
It sounds similar. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I know people love that game.
Yeah.
But I've honestly never played it. And it's like, I think the fourth one just came out, right?
Yeah, and I believe like in some of them there's different factions and stuff like that. Yeah, you have to take down.
Okay, well, I'll maybe have to. Is it only on PlayStation though?
No, Xbox.
Oh, cool. I'll have to give it a shot then.
Wait until it goes on sale if you're gonna get it on Xbox, because they usually sell it like $60. But on sale, they go down like once every like 3 months, so like $10 or something.
Oh,
like that
cool.
For the newer one.
Cool.
Yeah.
I should try that too. I don't get enough time to play games.
No, I hear you, but it's free.
I bought Red Dead 2 like a couple months ago, and I'm like 20% in because I barely ever get time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing that. It's pretty good.
It's awesome.
It's snowing in GTA 5.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, once a year they put snow on.
Does it affect the physics of the cars?
Yeah,
oh, that's super cool.
Slide around. It's fun.
Oh, that's super awesome.
Gears of War used to do like where around Christmas time, everybody had like Santa hats and were shooting like snowballs at each other.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it was like just on Christmas. Or
Right.
something.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
No, but check it out. Game way ahead of its time. Check it out for just how it matches up. I also got a game called Hammer Watch. It was kind of more of just like a multiplayer game to play with my son, and it's kind of like real, like, you know, like super chunky graphics, but it's kind of a bit more advanced than I thought. It looks like it'd be a fun game if you had like 4 people to play with, but it's a local co-op. Fucking local co-op is dead right now for some weird reason. I don't know why they had to kill the local co-op. It really bothers me. I understand online co-op is going to be where you're going to get the most people. 100% understand that. Online gaming is what everyone wants to do. But have the death of the local co-op, I think, is a kick in the pants. It must be harder to program it or something. I don't know, to code all that shit out, to have the split screen, I guess. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine what kind of works it goes into, and people just have unfortunately removed it from anything good. But it's a good little game. It's $10. You have like, you can pick tons of different races and everything, classes. Every class does something different. Kind of just like a dungeon pixel game. Really fun game. Check it out. Hammer Watch, $10. Just a fun little hack and slash game with a little bit of, you get upgrades and you can buy upgrades. You get, everything's about coins and smashing dudes and doing teamwork. You can heal in it. You know, just a cool little dungeon game. It really reminded me of Diablo 1 actually. It was a good little game.
This is like a pixel game.
Yeah, it's like pixely, but you're like little dudes like going through a dungeon.
Okay.
You can pick different people, like, you know, tons of different classes. So if you teamed up with different people, you'd be more effective, right? You fight like, you know, different bugs and, you know, ghouls and crap like that.
Yeah.
I haven't played much of it because, you know, it's actually kind of hard. You kind of gotta be like really plan your shit out when you're fighting the tougher dudes. It was a cool little game though. $10. It was well worth it. Fallout though, the canvas bag gate is finally come to an end. At least I would touch base a little bit on some Fallout this week.
People were upset. Every time I logged into my YouTube, the first few videos that were like on the most trending videos or whatever that is,
Yeah.
were people bitching about Fallout 76. I've not played the game. I've never
Yeah.
played any Fallout. I don't play a lot of video games.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, that's some hate if that shit is like the first thing you see when you log onto
Well, because
YouTube.
they pissed off the most diehard fans. That's what they did. I am easily consider myself one of the most diehard fans of the game of all time. But I didn't buy the bag. I know it's just a $200. I knew I'd be disappointed with $200. I've never bought the swag bag for Fallout or anything like that. But people are going to be getting their bags in 4 to 6 months. Unfortunately, everyone's getting 500 Atom bucks too, which is still equivalent to shit. It's just $5. But I think
So wait, they are sending out the canvas bags?
they are sending out the canvas bags now. Yeah, they are
Well,
sending them
that's
back
cool.
up. Yeah,
I guess you get enough heat, you're gonna do it.
and they had no
In
choice.
6
yeah.
months when you're on to the next game.
Exactly. They are sending, yeah, they are, and anyone who, the sales are so bad right now. Anyone who bought the game, even if you bought it on PC or Xbox or PlayStation, you automatically get just the PC version. It would be super cool if you get it on Xbox, the PC version of the first one, the second one, and the Tactics one, which is kind of a nice little touch. They are good little games to play, but definitely the games I love were Fallout number 1 and Fallout number 2.
At this point, they're probably willing to take a hit just so they can sell their next generation games, right? They don't want a bad reputation to follow them around.
Exactly. Whether or not Fallout goes and dies, Bethesda still has to worry about the whole Elder Scrolls series, which was kind of a shitty debacle too. And then obviously the Wolfenstein, which had a ton of play. I think it won a bunch of awards. The game is visually amazing and one of the hardest first-person shooters I ever played. I got to a part where I just could not beat it. It was just so intense. I'm just battling so much shit. But a really good series. And that was pretty darn gruesome of a game, too. That game was definitely rated R. It was pretty gruesome, but it was a good game. Really good game. Check that game out if you haven't played it. I got it on sale on Xbox, too. Man, really, really intense game. Good first-person shooter. Well done. If they had an online for it, it'd be really, really cool. I think they do, but it's just not that popular. But I actually have done really, really cool. I'm starting to get the Fallout feel now with the missions, because it's kind of a lonely game. You know, for a multiplayer game, it's pretty lonely. A lot of the hate has now, at first I didn't see it, but now I'll play and there won't be anybody online. You know what I mean? I didn't see it in the beginning. There was tons and tons of people. There'd be like maybe 1 or 2 people, but I'll be playing and you don't see anybody ever. Which is fine. Fallout's always been a single-player game for me, so it doesn't bother me. But it is a tough game. I'm getting it though. I got a full set of power armor at least, but I can't wear it to level 40. They kind of made it cool with how your bases work, because I was walking around and I saw like this ghoul like attacking a generator. I'm like, that's fucking weird. So I shot the ghoul and killed him. But I ended up blowing up the damn generator. I got wanted because it was somebody's base. They had like a super professional base built, like a really nice house. Like someone took time building like this house. Like it was like a 3-story house with like rooms and everything. I'm like, with like couches and everything set up. I was like, someone really took some time. But they had like a generator room too, and I got wanted the whole time. So I eventually caught up with me. Some dude that was like level 120. Just like one shot me. I guess
That means that guy is about 12.
Exactly, probably, because it's a hard game to level up because he does take a good amount of time. And right now I'm at level like 23 or 24, and I'm finding like I have to grind out a lot just to go up a level. I know the levels are at the missions. Completing missions is how you get the experience. And I'm finding it maybe there's a bit too much missions. I'm just on one to a next, and my whole side-scrolling sheet is just filled with missions. There's nothing but like a million of them to do, and I'm not getting that feel that there is kind of even a storyline in this at all. They did make it more of a survival type of game, and I think they've done that good with the bases, how the bases are destroyable, and you can, your base will still be there. I've stumbled across other people's bases, which was weird. I had never stumbled across anyone's base before. But at least my base still stays there as well, and come across some of the tougher enemies. But I think they may have... I'm still enjoying it. But I think they may have missed the mark on this game. It's still Fallout, though. I'll say that. It is still Fallout. It wasn't the Elder Scroll Online debacle that we saw, where that game really was just more of a WoW with Elder Scroll physics. But it is still a fun game. I just think they gotta maybe switch something around. It's starting to be playable at least, where I haven't really come across any glitches. But they do have spots where you really would be cool to be able to team up with people. I'm just not seeing other people out there. Even if I wanted to team up with them and not play by myself, I am noticing spots where you definitely need buddies with you. Still playing it, adding extra games in here. Still a huge Fallout guy. A little bit disappointed, but at least everyone's gonna get their bags now. Good for those people getting their bags. And that brings us, man, Christmas right around the corner. Fucking New Year's right around the corner. We got year in review. First year in review for this show. It's our first year. And new. We're going to be the and new forever. Never going to be the and old podcast, am I right? But,
and middle-aged podcast. That'd be more realistic.
Very middle-aged podcast.
Exactly.
Go to the bathroom. Eventually, something will happen.
Not as popular. Surprisingly enough, that name was not taken. So we could go with that.
That's why middle-aged people invented phones. Go to washrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Sit there for a while.
The magazine industry took a hit then. I can tell you what, when it came to that.
Oh man, I was so up on Sherman's Lagoon before I got a smartphone.
That was like not a bad comp show. I didn't mind that one actually. Yeah, I didn't mind it.
And Get Fuzzy.
But it went on too much of a storyline. I think.
Get Fuzzy was good.
Don't know about that one. I think it was that with that cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But what a year we had in MMA. Everything that's going to be coming, we'll do more of that on the next show. What's happening in the next year? What do we expect? But what a year in review with so many fights, so many wrestling events. We had such a change of hand with wrestling. 2018 didn't disappoint. Nor does every year. And I think that's what you got to do. You got to celebrate the year no matter what. It's going to have its highs. It's going to have its lows. But it's on to the next year. And you got to have something to celebrate. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, or where you come from. You got to have something to celebrate. And I think the one thing that's always been universal, it's got no religion about it, the flipping of the clock. You know what I mean? That clock striking 12 and switching over to a new year. I think everyone's going to celebrate it.
Actually, that is based on the birth of Christ, the flipping of that clock.
He was born on that time.
Yeah, well, it's Christian time that we all go by.
Did not know that.
There's also a Jewish calendar and a Chinese calendar, but everybody goes by the Christian.
We go by it still is a clock. That's what I mean. Like the clock. Exactly. There's different calendars. Like the calendar of the moon is like a different calendar too. But of all the fighters, you know what I mean? I gotta say, we'll go with the best fight of the year for the Anu podcast. We got a good panelist here for best fight of the year. I'm going with Daniel Cormier claiming the heavyweight title over Stipe Miocic. Huge event for Daniel Cormier to become the 2-time champ. And like I said, I said it well documented on the show. I have tons and tons of respect for Daniel Cormier. And I think he's going to be one of those crossover dudes as well that we see that moves over to wrestling, trying to get that wrestling money. And just a likable guy. Daniel Cormier winning. But he's not my fighter of the year. First, Kelly, what you got for me? What's your best fight of the year?
I've had two because
Whoa, okay, yeah.
the DC versus Stipe fight.
Cool, yeah.
And the Ferguson versus Pettis.
Oh,
A little bit more recently.
Yeah, that was a super barn burner. Absolutely, yeah. That was a huge win for Tony Ferguson, and what a fight, what a back and forth brawl that was.
That was a good
Morgan,
fight.
what do you got? Who do you got for your best fight?
Dustin Poirier versus Gaethje.
Yes, good barn burner. What a panel we got going on here. What a plethora of amazing fights. Good call, you guys. No, good. That was
Actually, UFC had a lot of good fights this year.
Yeah, tons. The choices were endless, really. The choices were endless. I gotta say, honorable mention, even on my card, is Yair Rodriguez versus Chan Sung Jung versus Korean Zombie. I think that was one of those crazy fights of this year. And Derek Lewis versus Alexander Volkov.
Especially the end.
Yeah, comeback of the year. Comeback.
That was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I love that fight. I remember those fights that get people standing on their feet. I think that's what Cormier did when he knocked out Stipe. I was jumping up and down like crazy. That's what you want, that fight, that crazy finish that gets you out of your seat. That's what you want. The electricity of that.
Also, there's a lot of lower card fights that were just as good as that Gaethje Poirier one. I just can't remember the guys' names because I didn't really know who they were. But
still, yeah,
some
no,
really
for sure.
awesome fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we did see a lot of good undercard. I think the undercards really stole the show in a bunch of events. They were so good.
happens all the time.
Exactly.
And then those free cards with all the guys you don't really recognize, half the time they're the best cards as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah, big time. That's why I watch them all. You watch them all, you never know what you're gonna get. You could have a total snore fest, everyone's decision, and everyone's just playing pitter patter, or you could have that total card where you get the full round, everything. You get this quick submission, the knockout, the long 3-round war. You never know what you're gonna get. Or you can get all knockouts, like we saw in that Bellator one recently, whereas they had like hour and a half still left from the show. The show was already done. Super crazy.
Sometimes you got two killers, and then they do nothing to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you got two guys that are typically boring fighters, and all of a sudden they have an exciting fight. You just
You never know. Roll the dice like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. My favorite fighter of the year, the fighter of 2018, the new winner is Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's just my choice. For beating Conor McGregor, shutting up that stupid Irishman. Good move by Khabib. Come out with the biggest, grandest stage. Hugest win of his career. And he won. That was another one of those great nights where the house was packed. And I was the only one to bet against Conor, to say Khabib is going to win this one. Everyone else was like, Conor, except for one other person. And here, sure enough, Khabib wins, silencing the world and bringing a new era of the Cold War.
Nikolai Volkov.
And he says, Das Vidanya to Conor, and Conor has got brought to earth. Good. He's my fighter of the year. Fighter of the year, Khabib. Who do you got for us, Kelly? Who's your fighter of the year?
My fighter of the year is Thug Rose.
Nice.
Yes,
Amazing
good one.
choice. Yeah,
He
definitely.
won a
Yeah.
J-check twice, getting the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who everyone thought was unbeatable at the time.
Yeah, totally unbeatable.
It was great. Yeah, especially the first time they
Mm-hmm.
fought, knocked her out in the first round. It's crazy.
That was one of those fights, too, that got me on my feet. That was a crazy knockout. And huge win for her, and just dominant for the second one, too. Huge fighter of the year with Rose.
That was actually almost going to be my choice.
Huh, who did you pick, Morgan?
DC.
Oh wow, Daniel
Now
Cormier,
he's holding
yeah.
the heavyweight and
Yeah.
the light heavyweight
Yeah.
titles, the two biggest titles. So he's like, there's no dispute that he's the baddest man on
Yeah.
earth right now, other than John Jones.
Exactly.
And
That-
John Jones probably had the most terrible year of anyone.
exactly. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Good choice with Daniel Cormier. You know what I mean? Like I said, his fight was my fight of the year, and I've been well documented even on this episode. Let alone the whole shebang is that he is awesome, well-rounded, very smart dude, and nothing but respect. He says all the right things. He's a super nice guy, and very, very, very tough dude. We got some killers at 205, obviously. It's especially with John Jones. I think that's why Daniel Cormier has to be on the top of that list as the pound-for-pound toughest, obviously because he holds the two belts of the toughest dudes. I'm just not a big fan of having anybody, 125 or 135. No disrespect, but they shouldn't be on the pound-for-pound list. I think it's going to be like that open weight class. How would that dude...
But doesn't pound for pound, more so than open weight class fights, mean this guy is the toughest of the guys his own weight?
I think that's the champion, though, still. If you're pound for pound, if you're pound for pound best at that weight, you'd be the
Yeah,
champion.
you're like the most dominant at your division, right?
Mm-hmm, of course. But I'm just saying.
I understood when Mighty Mouse was up there in that talk, because no one could beat him for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So he deserved to be near the top of that list, I believe.
I know, but still, he's not going to be able to beat up another person on that list.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's pound for pound. It's not like obviously if they do an open weight tournament,
Yeah.
probably DC's going to beat the rest of the champs.
For sure.
Yeah.
And he's not even going to be the heaviest fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
That's true.
they would have much more of a conversation than Demetrius Johnson fighting one of those dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd be much more in the conversation. Like, oh, I could see that going either way, or oh, he stands a chance. Where it's Mighty Mouse is like, he's gonna get destroyed.
He's got a
You know what I
chance
mean?
at maybe the next guy, you know.
Maybe if it was like,
TJ Dillashaw. He beat him once.
I know, but that would be about it. You know what I mean? That would be about it. I think TJ is dominant. I don't think he deserves to be on that list either. Like I said, no disrespect, but in my top 10 pound for pound list, it has to be the toughest of the toughest. And I don't want to see like a person in like, it's like out of all the weight classes. There's no weight classes in my top 10. No weight classes.
Did they do a pound per pound list for the women too?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's obviously Cyborg, I guess.
Exactly. It must be. A little bit touch base a little bit about music. Maybe with Morgan we'll be talking some more music on the show. We listen to tons and tons of music. We just don't really talk about it all that much. But I think for my favorite album of the year, and is obviously going to be my favorite artist, just because he's so current and still so active, my man, Tech-N9ne, and with the album Planet. It was a really good album. I really like Don't Nobody Want None. I love that song. Really cool song with the sampling of Planet Rock. It's a cool little song, actually. I think he's just evolving as always. Not the best album for hits, but Tech-N9ne still being out there and being active. I think the album had like 12 songs on it. Like, holy moly, that's, you know what I mean? Even for someone, he's getting up there too. Dude's almost 50 now. I think he's like 47 or some shit.
It had a lot of songs, I think, right?
I think it had like 18 songs. Yeah, good. It was a good
I thought
album.
it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good album. It had like
I really like the song "Comfortable" off of that album.
Yeah, that's a really good song. Yeah. He's talking about being on podcasts and that type of thing, and being on radio shows in that song. You know what I mean? And just how he feels comfortable talking to some people, and some people he doesn't feel comfortable talking to. Yeah, great song, man. It's a really good song. But Tech-N9ne still pulling it through. Can't wait to see when he comes back to Vancouver again locally here, and check him out again live. We had a total blast. The last live show was a lot of fun. Wasn't long enough. I thought it was just too short, but it was cool. Who do you got for us, Kelly? Your album of the year and or of artist?
Album of the year, YSIV by Logic.
Huh? Wow,
I got the
Logic.
same one.
Oh my god.
What's that?
Oh
I
my
had the same
god.
one, man.
Yeah? Oh, man.
You guys can have. That's how good
One
the song
Day
is.
And Wu-Tang Forever.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, you guys. So Morgan, you have the exact same guy, exact same song.
Yeah.
You guys are hilarious.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking hilarious. Love some white rappers over here.
He's
Jeez.
half black.
Exactly.
Mulatto rapper.
Oh man, that is too funny. That is too funny.
It's
That's
an awesome
That's so
album.
hilarious how we
It's
didn't even
the
talk about it.
first guy
Yeah.
to get all members of
You guys go
Wu-Tang
ahead and
for a
talk about it.
feature. That was pretty good.
I don't know. There's not much to say other than it's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just not-
I could listen to it all day, every day.
We listened to a lot of Logic last night. I'm just not the biggest fan, honestly. You know what I mean? He's okay. Honestly, I understand. He's very, very talented.
Get this guy.
He's off the podcast.
Mutiny.
Or gets promoted. New host.
But he just, I don't know. He's like I said, he's very, very talented. He's going to be a mega million star one day if he's not already. Everybody wants him on their hooks. He's just not my thing. Like I said, I've listened to a lot of his stuff because you love him, Morgan, and I'm just not sold on him. I'm picky with my rappers though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't listen to a lot of.
Yeah,
different
exactly.
rappers.
I'm just not about him. Just not about him.
You don't need to like good music. It's like,
Exactly.
Okay.
no one's perfect. Except for the new Logic album.
Yeah, that's about as close as it gets.
Yeah.
He said Tech 9, but really he meant Kiss.
Nah, they didn't come out with a new album this year.
What a fucking. So
They're finally retiring. I hope they don't come back with a. If they go off their separate way, I think it's obviously just Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. They're apparently retiring.
2030 reunion tour.
Exactly. They'll be way too old. They're super old right now. They're like in their 70s. You know what I mean? They've got to go home, count their money, and just call it a day.
They got to be one of the richest bands for sure with all the merchandise.
Yeah, exactly. Big time.
Sometimes it's having something to do that keeps you alive, though.
That's true. I think it's tough to, once you're in that regimen, it's tough to do something else. Like, I don't think they could do something else separately. I wouldn't be offended by that, but I think together, I think it's time to call it a career.
Kiss Unplugged.
I hated that album. Everyone was doing unplugged albums at that time. A lot of people love that album, of course. You know, I mean, Nirvana started that goddamn unplugged era.
The Nirvana one was good though.
That's everybody wanted to do it.
Today on the Kiss vlog, see how long Gene Simmons' tongue is again.
We got nothing else to talk about.
Hey guys, still super old, just getting older.
Whole year in review, though. As our year. Oh, what about movie? Oh, yeah, movie. Yeah, movie. Didn't even get to that. I'm going with Last Jedi, Star Wars. Great movie. I'm not really a movie guy, but good. It was a really, really good movie. I don't mind movies. I got nothing against them. I just don't really actively go out to watch movies in the theater. But that was the one movie I saw this year. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I really love it. And I thought it was like their best movie. I know that's controversial too, especially of the new ones. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I thought it was action packed. The whole part in the casino with Benicio del Toro, I thought that was beautifully done. I thought it was really some really awesome parts in it. We see the evil BB-8 guy. I can't remember what his name is, but just how they had done everything was just awesome. Really, really liked it. It was just one of those movies where, especially the ending, you know, it's long enough. So, like, you know, just how they had the whole thing with Luke Skywalker, you know, kind of saved the day with his, you know, beaming his body, you know, as a hologram over there, and just really, really cool movie. I just loved it. Loved it. Another. A lot of people hated it though for some weird reason. I don't understand the
that's
haters.
A controversial pick.
I don't understand the haters.
I was not like as in love with it as you, but I didn't absolutely hate it like a lot of people did either. I thought it was okay. It had its moments. It had some weird parts, like, you know, like Yoda destroying all those books and stuff. Didn't make sense, and the part with Princess Leia floating through the air was
that was a bit hokey for me. Yeah, I agree with you on that part. Yeah, that was a bit
couple
weird.
of the characters in it were kind of annoying, but it wasn't as bad as a lot of people thought I'd said.
I did like that scene with the ship where they're trying to get away and they're going to get killed. You know what I mean? I thought that was a pretty intense part. And then they, you know, fly away to the casino. I thought it was well done. I hear you on that though. The floating part was terrible. What's your pick, Morgan? Movie of the year?
Infinity War.
Huh? Good pick.
Best
Good
movie
pick.
in ages.
Nice.
I just loved it. The whole movie was action packed. It was pretty long, but it felt short because it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
What's it about? I don't think I've even.
Yeah, the Avengers, the last one.
I don't think I watched it.
You should watch it.
I haven't seen it either, but I know what it is. I haven't seen it though.
It is really good.
Yeah, nice. as you love the action movies, especially the superhero ones.
The
And
Marvel
there's
ones.
endless when it comes to Marvel.
Yeah, non-stop good movies coming out by them.
I was gonna say Deadpool too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Deadpool
That's a
too.
really
Okay,
good
yeah.
one too, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It lived up to the hype, and it was
Nice.
just as good as the first one.
Yeah,
Good,
if not
good
better.
choice, Kelly.
Yeah.
Good choice. Let's round out the show here. Year in review. What does 2019 bring for us? We'll talk about that next show. Got a lot of wrestling to get to here. Let's talk some wrestling. TLC was the last week on the last Sunday show that we had done.
Slobber Knocker Radio.
Exactly. I was surprised to see that the end of the mixed match challenge was Carmella and R-Truth versus Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. I thought, well, man, like, how the hell did they all make it with all the damn injuries, I bet you. Good win for Carmella and R-Truth, though, and it was just the funny part. Do you remember TLC when R-Truth's like, they could pick, because they win the 30th entrance to the Royal Rumble, which I love. It's super cool for both of them to get that. And then they win a trip to wherever they want to go. And where they pick
Stanford.
Stanford, Connecticut, to go to. R-Truth still being really funny with his shit. I love it.
Yeah, I really like that they won it, actually.
Yeah.
Going into it, I thought they had the most hype going for any of the teams. They had, none of the teams were really doing anything together on Raw or SmackDown other than them.
Exactly. No,
So,
exactly. I
I was
like
pretty
it
glad
too.
they won it.
Yeah, I like it too. They got a little bit of pop from it. You know what I mean? R-Truth and Carmella have this whole little thing going now with their 7-second dance off. Everyone loves it. It's becoming a little popular thing they made up. Good for him. Baron Corbin obviously gets his comeuppance. Obviously Braun Strowman, like I talked about last show, I didn't know how it was going to be physically possible for him to compete. And of course he does, and he gets his shit kicked out of him by everybody. And a nice move by Slater, you know what I mean, by Heath Slater to get a little bit of his comeuppance on him too. I really thought he was going to save Corbin, but he did not. He just got his ass kicked. They all just kicked his ass. So it was good little way to end that. I really thought they were going to make Corbin go on, but as we see, it did not happen. I think Mysterio and Randy Orton may have stolen the show with their like chair match. I thought it was actually really cool when Rey Mysterio kind of did his little belly slide thing out to the ring. He used a chair, so he slid on the chair outside. I thought that was a really cool little innovative move by Rey Mysterio. Always keeping on his toes. He's always bringing new stuff. He looks the healthiest as he's ever looked his entire career.
Yeah,
Loving
he's
this.
pretty ripped now.
He is, yeah. I'm loving the Rey Mysterio rebuild here that's going on. Dude's just amazing. I think their match may have stolen the show. I was surprised by the Ronda Rousey winning, honestly. I didn't think they were going to let her win. I thought to have her stick with the champ. I guess they're really putting a lot of their eggs into the Ronda Rousey basket right now, and I think it's actually paying off.
I had assumed they'd let her win because they're paying her so much money. They can't have her lose already.
That's true.
She's riding a winning streak since she's been there, right?
Do you think she goes into WrestleMania the champ?
I would believe so.
Wow. Yeah, I guess
I don't see anybody taking it right now.
I think that's in her contract that she has to headline WrestleMania or like be like the champ at WrestleMania. I think that's
girls that might beat her would be on SmackDown, like Charlotte,
yeah.
Becky Lynch, and Asuka.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, exactly. The Raw, Raw doesn't really have the talent when it comes to the women as much as obviously
they got a lot of
SmackDown.
talented ones, but
Yeah.
none of them are being pushed like that.
Yeah,
at the moment.
exactly.
Like Nia Jax was probably the most, but she already lost her on it.
With Alexa being injured as well,
Yeah.
it's not helping things. I'm just surprised that they're still letting her be champ. But I guess obviously it's going to be for the long haul. I'm really not surprised they let Daniel Bryan win. I can see we can see this evil vegan coming in for the next little while here. I'm not really surprised by it. They're going to give Daniel Bryan, I guess, coming back from the injury, he's going to get this push or
It's
whatever.
a brilliant way to get heat. He's a vegan environmentalist, just basically telling everybody that they're not as good as him because of that.
Yeah.
The crowd fucking hates him all of a sudden.
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
the most beloved guy
Yeah.
there was. It's like almost tantamount to when Hulk Hogan became bad.
Not even close to that. Come on, man. NWO, when Hulk Hogan went bad, that was a big deal.
Oh, it was a much bigger
Yeah.
deal. But everything was at that time.
Yeah, that's true.
Now it's like so oversaturated.
I just hope they don't have a flip flop. That's what I think we're gonna see here is if he's gonna flip flop, that'd be the worst. You know what I mean? If where does he go from here? How long is he gonna be bad for? I think he's got to be bad for a good,
Kind of got to be bad for a while.
a long time.
from
Exactly.
What they've done so far.
Exactly. I'm very surprised by Dean Ambrose winning the title. I was very surprised by that one. Didn't see that one, but I guess they're really putting a lot behind this stupid-ass Bane Dean Ambrose. But apparently the biggest rumor is that the fans hated the match and Vince McMahon was super mad about it. Sometimes he just doesn't like a match. A match has got to flow, and if Vince doesn't like it, you don't want to be in that bad eyesight of Vince McMahon. It killed Kevin Owens' career. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this rivalry at all. I hate it. Doesn't work for me.
I think it's one of those things where it's like these guys are supposed to be two of the best guys in the whole company, and they're getting a lot of shine right now, and they're not really delivering.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Where Dean Ambrose has always been like that guy on the cusp, and so is Seth Rollins. Where Seth Rollins has been amazing in the match, but you know, I mean, he can have some bad matches too. And I just think whenever your matches are always 30 minutes. Maybe sometimes the shit gets lost in it, especially when you're wrestling a dude you know very, very well in Dean Ambrose. Maybe they just don't have the ring chemistry, even though they're really, really good friends. Maybe they just don't have the ring chemistry against each other, where they usually have been for the longest time together. But we'll see. Time will tell. I hope they abandon this thing and move on, because that's the big rumor is that Seth Rollins is going to be. That's the reason why he lost the belt, was to challenge Brock Lesnar, and we saw a little bit of that with him calling out Brock Lesnar for never being present. That's what's crazy, Kelly. Brock Lesnar's WWE champ. He hasn't showed up since he won the belt. He hasn't been like on the regular weekly show. Like,
why would you? He's the boss.
He's the champ. Why would the champ be
I was
there
just
every
saying,
week?
like, how
That wouldn't
crazy.
make sense.
That's how much clout this guy has. That's how much balls Brock Lesnar has. He's like, nah, I'm the champ, and I don't need to wrestle. Whatever.
Honestly, when they have a champ defending his belt every week on Raw, why the fuck order the pay-per-view for a title defense?
It's true. That's true. You're just gonna see the same match.
So like, you just get it so many times. It's like you're bored and you're watching a title match because you've seen this guy wrestle so many times this year.
No, exactly. That's true. That's a good point. He's doing his. That's what Brock Lesnar's done for his brand since day one. He's sold the Brock Lesnar brand better than no one else.
It is kind of what they used to do back in the day too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep, it totally is.
Hogan would show up
Yep.
only on big events.
Hold note, because he knows, because you got to get what you're paid for. You know what I mean? And obviously, as you get older, the money's it's got to be bigger. But it did not disappoint with the women's match. That was an amazing match. The three-way between Asuka and Charlotte and Becky Lynch, amazing match. And to have Ronda come out and push the ladder over, costing Becky Lynch and Charlotte the match, was a super cool move. And for Asuka to win the belt, it's just amazing that Asuka's the champ of WWE right now, going from being the unbeatable woman in NXT to winning the Royal Rumble to losing to Charlotte, and then now to actually be the champ. Huge move for Asuka. All the hard work she has done throughout the years. I like the move of her being champ. I don't see it being a long reign, but I just like the fact that she is the champ.
I like her being the champ too. I kind of like the match was great. The ending was a little bit weird for me. I thought if Asuka was going to finally win the title, it should be clean victory. I understand they want to build heat between Ronda and Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair for some sort of like cross-promotional rivalry at some point.
They definitely did a little bit of that for sure.
But I would have liked to see Asuka like actually pin them legit, like not pin, you know what I mean, beat them legit.
Yeah, I hear you're saying. Yeah, exactly. I hear you're saying. It was, once again, they have a little bit of controversy in it as well, where Asuka becomes a champ due to certain circumstances of not her doing. That's why I think she's going to lose it quickly.
And it does seem like the timing is weird because there was so long where like Asuka seemed like she should have the title. Right now, I feel like it seems like Becky Lynch should have the title. So it seems like an odd time to choose to give her the belt.
Well, maybe they want Becky in the Royal Rumble. Maybe she'll be in the Royal Rumble. If not, she's going to be challenging for the belt at the Royal Rumble. But maybe she doesn't. Maybe she has to go in the Royal Rumble, which would be a nice touch for that. It'd be shitty if Alexa had to miss out again, just without injuries. It doesn't look like she's going to be ready for the Royal Rumble.
That's too bad.
On Raw, we had a huge Raw with the return of Vince. And then he calls out Stephanie, and Triple H comes, and then Shane comes, apologizing to the fans, and announcing kind of like a no more GM thing where they're taking back over. I thought, what a huge power move with the ratings the way they are now. WWE goes into a little bit of an emergency mode and brings out the big guns for the show again. I think all those guys realized they had to show up as well. Talking about the new talent shakeup, But the thing that I thought they maybe missed the mark on was saying they're going to give the fans the more power. I couldn't disagree with that more. The fans are idiots. They really are. They really are. If it was anything, we'd have like Kenny Omega would be like a six belt champ in the WWE. If you give the fans what they want, he'd just be like fighting AJ Styles the whole time.
I think that's just a specific set of fans, though.
Those are going to be the
Not
loudest.
the ones that listen to us.
Yeah. Not the listeners of the And New podcast. Those are smart fans.
Exactly. Those people are the brightest and smartest. But I just thought that may have missed the mark on that one a little bit. What they do, like, do they do like a vote show or something silly like that? We'll see what comes. Maybe a guy, they vote for what brand they want a certain person to be on. Maybe that's kind of interesting, like a Facebook vote or something like that. If they wanted to be on SmackDown or Raw coming up, we'll see. And I did enjoy. So too bad for Baron Corbin. I did enjoy his tenure as the acting general manager or the general manager elect or whatever the hell he wanted to call him. I thought he actually did a good job of being really, really dirty. I thought he did such a good job of changing the matchups all the time, all of his shady antics. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool.
I thought he was a good heel, and he was
Yeah.
getting a lot of heat as the general manager.
He was. I thought he
He was
had
pissing the crowd off, which he's supposed to do.
exactly. I thought he did a really, really good job of it. But what was weird is that I didn't, we didn't see Bobby Lashley or Drew McIntyre come to his aid, which I thought was kind of weird because he kind of used them his muscle throughout the weeks to punish people, and he even gave Drew McIntyre that stupid award. And they didn't come to help him. So I thought it was maybe a weird move by that. Yeah, I thought it was maybe a weird move that didn't happen. I guess they're not continuing the storyline at all, and Baron Corbin's off to something else right away here because I thought they could have had a cool little heel stable going with those two guys. That'd be a really cool team. Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. I thought that'd be a really cool team. But I guess the WWE thought otherwise.
I think it's because they had one of their lowest rated Raws.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if that had so much to do with Baron Corbin, or I think it has to do more with the people in the back, the writers.
And there's a lot of injuries right now.
Yeah, exactly, obviously.
You got Roman Reigns out, Alexa Bliss out, quite a few wrestlers out.
And Brock Lesnar never shows up, right? So they got no one in there right now. No John Cena. But I do like the move. I do like how they fucked over Corbin too, and in his match and said, oh, here's your match, and then you got to fight this guy, and then now you got to fight these other dudes, and now it's no disqualification, and now it's a ladder match, and so I thought that was kind of funny, with what they had done with him. Like new call-ups, I think, are the big news of this week. With the really, really getting here with I didn't expect all these dudes: Lars Sullivan, Heavy Machinery, Nikki Cross, EC3, and Lacey Evans. I thought it was a kind of a weird call-up for Heavy Machinery. I thought that War Raiders would have come up before them. I like Heavy Machinery; they're okay, but I just don't know if they have what it takes. But I guess the Raw, every tag division right now is so terrible. They need somebody to come in there that's an actual tag team, not just two dudes thrown together, like that debacle of the champs right now for SmackDown. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys shape up and shake up the new division.
Who's the champs on SmackDown right now? The Bar?
No, it's no. Sorry, I meant the Raw champions.
Oh, okay.
Are fucking the glorious team. Like this.
Gable and
Yeah, Bobby Roode, but they're both wearing robes now, which I thought was a weird move. So very weird on those guys' behalf. What I thought was super weird though, but I like the match of the Fatal 4 tag match, but the whole week they had the Revival jobbing to the Lucha House Party, and then all of a sudden they win this thing for the #1 contendership, and they get to fight in Royal Rumble. I thought, like, what?
That's because now they're giving the fans what they want.
No, hell no. If they become the champ, I'd be so disappointed. But I'd rather, right now we got a terrible team as the champ, so I think it's going to be their best chance. I always remember they had that thing where they were going to beat the B team, and they lost then. I hope they lose again. I don't want to see the Revival champ. They belong with Tyler Breeze back in NXT.
they will be champs at some point.
NXT champs, yes.
Oh, they'll be Raw champs or SmackDown champs or something.
No, they're terrible. Terrible tag team. I think they're going to win though, unfortunately. But I think it's a weird move. They've been, like I said, they've been jobbing all week, and here they win. Very
I
weird
think
move.
they're a much better tag team than Gable and Rude are. I think Rude is a much better wrestler than any of them on his own.
Yeah.
But I don't really like that tag team.
No, me either. I think it's a terrible matching. I think they just need lifeblood when it comes to tag teams right now. I like the women's gauntlet match. I thought that was a nice little touch. But Dana Brooke, man, did she ever get some work? Did you see her in that match? Looked totally different. She got a lot of face work. Too much, I'd almost say.
I didn't really notice.
But I didn't expect them to let Natty win. I thought that was really weird. I thought that was a weird move of the week for Raw, giving Natalya the win. I guess they're just really doing a shake-up here, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. I thought they would give it to somebody else, like Ruby Riott or something, but...
I thought it was going to be Natty. Especially after the pay-per-view, she was so dominant. Like, I could tell they're building towards that Ronda Rousey fight. So they're trying to build her up.
Well, they're friends. I guess if they have, like, the whole...
But they want to make it seem like she's got a legit shot at beating Ronda, right?
Yeah.
So they're having her beat everybody on the way there.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. But did they turn Natty bad here? She's had more face turns than the Big Show.
I don't think she's really a heel at this point.
No, she's good at this point.
Yeah.
But I think, are they going to turn her bad and, like, backstab Ronda? You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I think
You
that's
never
probably
know.
what's going to happen here. I think that's what we're going to see.
Maybe she joins up with the Riot Squad all of a sudden.
Huh. That would be even a weirder move. But I could see it happening. I wouldn't.
She's gonna need people helping her if she's gonna beat Ronda, right?
Maybe she teams up with, like, Nia or something like that. Who knows? On to SmackDown. I love Becky Lynch is coming out. She's been really killing the mic when calling Ronda Rousey a Piper cosplayer. I thought that was a really good move by Becky. She's been so quick-witted on the mic. Really, really good these days.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we did like a best wrestler of the year, I would pick Becky Lynch.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think she's had the best year out of them all,
Easily.
guys or girls.
Actually, I don't know why I didn't do that. Really dropped the ball here on the end new podcast over here.
It's all good.
Might be getting breaking news about John Jones.
Uh-oh. This just in.
I'm just getting a text. So.
Is it A, cocaine, B, a car accident, C,
NCAA
Popeye's
won't
chicken.
license John Jones after drug test
Uh-oh.
in 17 minutes ago.
which
Test positive
Uh-oh.
for trace amounts of steroids again.
This just
Again.
in.
He gets tested again for steroids.
Wow.
What?
I was gonna actually talk about that on the show because he had said he didn't want to do the voluntary test. Like that was one of his stipulations. If he wanted to get a license back, he'd have to do the voluntary test.
So this is saying John Jones drug test prompts UFC 232 just to be moved from Los Angeles to Las Vegas.
Oh my God, we are to 232.
So maybe they have different.
Yeah, if the California one turned him down, the
Yeah.
Vegas might still.
So I guess they're
Oh
just
my
moving it even though he was
wow.
tested. Yeah.
What a shady
That's
son of a
what it
bitch.
is. That's what it is. I
Come on,
just got
Johnny.
the text. He had moved
Wow.
to been to LA because he
You know
pissed
what?
hot.
You saw it as annoying anyway. I loved before they had all this.
I can't believe that.
Again, man, ruining your legacy. Wow.
I cannot believe that. Oh, man. Holy moly. Breaking news here. And new podcast. This is coming in live. Whenever you hear this, it'll be live. It'll be live. News popping at you live anytime. No, what huge news, though. I'm just looking at that card right now. I was going to talk about that card in the new year. Like, where does that bring this card now? Now we have, it's still a big, you can still, I think you can hold main event still with Cyborg versus Nunez. Is that matchup? It's kind of weird that they don't have that as the main event. That is kind of weird to even think about that. It's a mega fight between those two girls. And John Jones versus Gustafsson is actually the main event. I guess maybe for the 5-round aspect, that's probably why they did it. But as you heard it here, the fight is no more. Move to Nevada. Do we see a replacement on that one? Whew. I don't know if we got that in it here. I don't know who's gonna be a replacement. Maybe we see Colby Covington come up, fight someone he's been smack talking. But they got to save it's a year-end show. They got to save the year-end show. BJ Penn's on that card even. Good card. We'll touch base a little bit more on the card later on, but breaking news. Wow, John Jones can't get his shit together. It all makes sense now why he didn't want to go for the voluntary test. Whew.
Free John Jones.
Send him to ONE FC.
Let's get back to SmackDown. Wow, breaking news. Let's get back to some SmackDown news here. I do love Vince coming down to SmackDown. I did not expect to see him on SmackDown. Really cool, and he to introduce Naomi of all people too. Her match with Asuka was mega sloppy though. Man, it was two girls who'd been together for a long time in tag team matches, but hadn't really been against each other. I think was the case on this one. I thought it was sloppy when I watched it, but I was more and more surprised by Vince coming in. Still got it. His little thing he had done with the Miz, Vince McMahon still doing it. Wow, John Jones. Wow, memes are already a-flying. The John Jones memes are already on full point right now. Watch out, world. But Vince has still got it. I love the little bit he did with the Miz. Really good move.
Yeah, Vince is pretty good. How old is that guy? He's got to be like late 60s, early 70s.
I think he's in his 80s, man.
Holy shit.
He's
he looks
old.
pretty good for his age.
No, super spry. I thought he was really bringing.
He's still ripped.
Yeah, he is. He came down. He came down to the ring like totally full of piss and vinegar. But it was weird that the Miz partners with Mandy Rose, and then it was just that they're going up against Carmella and R-Truth, and obviously they we see what happens with that. It was kind of a little bit of a weird one. Mandy Rose is a good to mix and throw in the mix there with them though.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's getting better.
Yeah, she is.
Obviously, she looks really good.
What was weird was the removal of Paige. How they kind of got rid of Paige. You know what I mean? They had the whole backstage thing, and then they all chanted for her and appreciated what she did. Thought it was kind of a weird move. Where does she do moving forward? They said promote her movie, but let's see what happens with Paige.
Got a movie?
Yeah, there's a movie coming out about her. Haven't you
Oh,
heard
is
about
it
it?
the one with The Rock?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
about her family?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Maybe she will be in movies after.
Maybe. I could see that. Or maybe she comes back, you know what I mean? Who knows?
As a wrestler?
Yeah, I could maybe see. Maybe.
I don't think so. Her neck is completely fucked, right?
Huh. Well, maybe she'll get the Daniel Bryan treatment and fix it somehow or something. Good to see the Good Brothers win. Good to see him.
It's never good to see the Good
It
Brothers.
is, yeah. You can two sweep me on that. Two sweep me on that. I'm getting
Maybe
not. I'm
if
not
you were
getting.
talking about the original guys who did Too Sweet,
Yeah.
The Click, NWO, DX. But when a bunch of guys come out like 20-something years later doing the same shit,
I think it
it's
works.
pretty sad.
I think it works. I think it works. It's timeless. NWO. NWO was stolen too, but I think that the two sweeting was obviously stolen from X-Pac. But it was crazy. How did you watch that match? You remember when Jey Uso got like tangled up in the ropes, like his leg got caught in the ropes? And I don't think that was supposed to happen. He got really tangled up there, and the referee was trying to help him out. He was like hanging there by his leg. It was kind of a crazy turn of events with that one there.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Nakamura pulling out the smack, though, against Rusev, calling him a total, in reference to Total Diva, as he calls Rusev a total D-bag. I thought that was a good move by Nakamura, bringing out a little bit his hate. I think their rivalry works super, super well.
Nakamura is one of the best at talking shit in a language that he's not very good at speaking.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he
Most
totally.
of those foreign guys were terrible with their promos, but his are always on point.
Yeah. He does get pretty ruthless. What a matchup we had, though, with Cien and Daniel Bryan versus AJ and Mustafa Ali. I thought, man, that was actually a really, really good matchup. I think that's what SmackDown does well. They've always had those more underground dudes, and I think that's what we saw in this match, obviously. Battle of the Underground dudes. And it was a really, really good match. Crazy, crazy match. Mustafa Ali had another bad slip in that one coming off. It almost looked like he really did hurt his knee, but it looked like he was okay. Trying to do a Hurricane Rana off the ring steps, and he just kind of slips. But it looks like he was okay. But it was a good thing he was trying to do it against Cien, because Cien saved him on it. One of probably the best in-ring performer WWE has right now is Andrade Almas. Cien, man, he's just amazing.
Oh, as well as AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan too.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a perfect matchup for all those dudes, for all the 5-star dudes in there. Still, I wouldn't say give it a 5-star match. It was a 4-star match, but it was a good match. But like Aladdin finding the genie's lamp, Mustafa Ali finds a way to beat Daniel Bryan with the help of AJ Styles and wins that match. I think Ali is going to be here to stay in the big leagues, and then I was very leery about him at first, but I think if he keeps having matches like these, has a cool entrance, doesn't say a whole lot, I think he can actually hang with the big dogs. And good for Mustafa Ali coming over. I just hope for his career he doesn't have to have a match with Randy Orton or something like that, and that'll really bring him down, losing to Randy Orton right now.
I think he's pretty good, but I could really see him ending up like not on TV weekly and not that near a future.
I could see that happening very easily. Absolutely. That's just being a little stint to try to get 205 some play, bringing him up. I could easily see that, especially, you know what I mean, how does he roll in a storyline? And where does his storyline even go? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're going to play the racist card? Or
There's a lot of this short-term success in the WWE right now. Like,
too much of it.
Like Jinder Mahal was on the top of the company,
Yeah.
and now he's one of the low-card guys all of a sudden.
Yeah, great example. I thought he was a great heel too. I think it was a time when they didn't really have much heels at that time. I thought he was an amazing heel. Really had the hate of the crowd, and he just had that look too of a really, really cool bad guy. Jinder Mahal kind of getting lost in the shuffle here once again, but I hope they find something for him. I watched NXT this week. Had no MMA to talk about. Let's make this a wrestling show. Did you watch NXT this week? No, it was actually pretty good.
I only sometimes catch NXT.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a huge NXT fan. There's been documented on the show. I don't really talk about that much, but I did catch NXT on this week because it was actually a pretty good one. It actually had we see the 4 horsewomen come in here: Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir, 2 former MMA fighters. Kelly and coming into NXT, kind of just getting in through their notoriety rather than their work ethic, and they're up against 2 really, really girls of the opposite faction, girls who worked their whole life with Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, sorry, and Dakota Kai, and they put on a really good match. I was actually very impressed with Jessamine's in-ring talent. I was very impressed with her moves. Where Shafir, she was very stiff and not very good at all. But as bad as she was, Jessamine Duke was good, and I think she has a little bit of a spark in her. I want to see more of Jessamine Duke in wrestling. I think she really actually had a good move set and would really impress me. That's what I gotta say. She actually really impressed me. I went with extremely low expectations, especially since Maria was in first, and I was like, holy moly, this girl's terrible at wrestling right now. She has a lot of work to do. Jessamine Duke was amazing, but of course they lose to Io. You know what I mean? Such an amazing star is she, coming out of Japan, just so amazing, crazy high flyer, and you don't see that just with the tenacity. She has such an amazing move set, and what a crazy personality too. She's just super, super different, and I think that's what the fans eat up. Is she's her own thing, and she's not like a person of before, with a little bit of Rey Mysterio flair. Really, really cool, really cool wrestler.
I think that Jessamine Duke has like a good look for wrestling. 'Cause they don't have a lot of women like her, where most of them are like these kind of petite little girls, or like a big heavy set girl. She's kind of like the tall, lanky one, like maybe like the Edge of the women's division kind of thing.
Good analogy. Yeah, good analogy, man. And I saw a little bit of that too, like where she had the facial influxes. You know what I mean? Where she was selling her moves at like a high level for someone that had their first wrestling match. I was very impressed.
Well, I think some of those girls, like Ronda's posse, they were all like big wrestling fans.
They're all
came into it.
Yeah, exactly. And now we see. I think it works out good because now they're going to help out obviously Shayna Baszler as well, and her like
she's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
saw her match versus the Japanese girl. I can't remember her name.
Kairi Sane.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was like one of the match of the year candidates as well. A lot of people love that match. Obviously, the cage match at War Games was the other one as well. Ricochet just being one of the best of all time right now.
I gotta say, Ricochet is one of the best for sure. I liked him as Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. In NXT, the ones I've seen with him have all been good.
He's just on such another level.
Those matches with the British guy in New Japan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name right now, but they were really good.
But to be in the position where he is right now, do you think he has enough to go to the big leagues, to go to Raw or SmackDown?
I think he would.
Mm-hmm.
But it all depends how they use him. Like
Yeah.
if they just bury him, that would suck. But if they brought him up and actually put him in matches against guys he could have good matches with and let him have a winning streak,
Yeah.
and potentially some sort of title run, maybe Intercontinental or something,
I could see that.
that'd be pretty cool.
A tough call. Exactly that. It
I
all
think
depends how they
holding
use
the
him.
world title might be hard for him
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah.
because I don't think he's much of a talker.
No, and he's kind of smaller too, right? I hope he has a long career at NXT because I think it's a perfect fit for him right now.
That world title on SmackDown is being held by guys around his size, though.
That's
like
true.
AJ and
Yep.
Daniel Bryan.
That's true. That's very true. We see the debut of Dominic Djokovic. It wasn't bad. Kind of a big dude. They were all talking that he was like an MMA fighter, so I looked up his stats. He's not an MMA fighter at all. He played like football and like basketball for like a Division III school.
Like when The Godfather came out as Kuma Mustafa, the MMA fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like that. And then he came out. Yeah, he was Papa Shango before that, and then to come out as Kuma Mustafa, and then to be the Godfather.
Godfather was definitely his best character.
Yeah, of course.
Papa Shango was probably second.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to say so. Yeah, dude really bounced around. Yeah, Godfather was his most famous. Like he got the Hall of Fame, I guess, for that somehow.
And then it was kind of stupid when they made him the corporate Godfather.
Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, that little shift is never gonna work.
Everybody came to see the Ho Train.
Exactly, of course. Heavy Machinery against two jobbers. These guys were smaller than the refs. I was not surprised that they destroyed them. I wonder how they're going to fare in the big leagues, though. I think it's still going to be a few weeks before they're called up. I don't know. I don't see them doing all that. I think they just need lifeblood in the tag team division.
It all depends. Like teams like that, I think they're walking a line where, like, if everything goes right, they can be pretty big. They're not a sure thing, though. It's not like,
Yeah.
when you first saw the Usos, you kind of knew these guys were destined for something big, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many of these tag teams that are coming from NXT, like, they do fairly well in NXT, and then they come towards WWE, and no one cares.
Well, I think the biggest
Ascension's a perfect
yeah, exactly. That's
example,
what I was
right?
going to say too. Ascension's the biggest example of
They
that
were very
for sure.
successful in NXT, I remember.
Even Revival or Vaudevillains, you know what I mean?
Revival was awesome on NXT. I don't know why they've dropped the ball with them on Raw.
They don't have other, you know what I mean, Johnny Gargano and the other super small dude to wrestle against. You know what I mean? They're wrestling up against dudes who are way bigger than them now. They're just too little. I hate the Revival. They're just too little. I
like them.
Yeah, they just don't. They just
I
don't
think
work.
they're good at what they do. I like how they're really good at all the little tag team tricks.
They got that. Yeah. If they didn't have that, they'd
A
be
lot
terrible.
of the teams don't do that kind of shit no more. Like, it's classic, like 1980s
Yeah.
style tag team wrestling where, the ref's looking the other way and this guy's running in there and getting them guy. All of a sudden they're winning. Ref turns around, doesn't know why.
Yeah, exactly. What? Oh, okay, I 1, 2, 3, and then they was like, what? How? Okay. Yeah, I love that move. I hear you on that. They do. I can hear what you're saying. They do amplify what a tag team should be. They got that on pat, but just their talking's terrible, and just their charisma is at 0.0.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely no New Day because the New
Yeah.
Day does that tag team stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like where they take turns, like beating the guy in the corner tag,
Yeah.
beating the guy in the corner tag, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They do have some pretty good, like Xavier Woods especially, and when it's Xavier and Kofi, they have a different moveset, which is just as good as when it's Xavier and
Any
Yeah.
two of the 3
Mhm.
is good.
yeah. I totally agree with
I
that.
love Big E. I think if they ever all went solo, he could have a title run one day.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I don't know. I think he was Intercontinental champ when he first came out, and he was kind of like AJ Lee's bodyguard. Yeah, and I think he was with Dolph Ziggler at that time too.
Yeah, it was
I-
AJ Lee,
yeah.
Dolph Ziggler, and Big E Langston.
Yeah, he was like their muscle. But I think his problem was when he was in NXT, he wanted to do this whole thing, and he wanted the referee to count to 4. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
So,
that.
so it did. I think that kind of got lost on the fans. I can see where he's coming from. He's like, so tough. I can do the guy for a 4 count.
That's
Tough,
an old school thing, actually, because back in the day, wrestlers used to do that. The bad guys.
huh? Really? Bringing up some old school, old heel trickery. The main event was not bad, actually. Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. I'm not sold on Gargano. I don't like Johnny wrestling. Once again, he's way too little. Like, I think he'd be small for 205 Live. He's lucky to be on NXT. I'm not the hugest fan of his moveset, the whole rah-rah, and then they go and change him up to attacking Aleister Black and kind of being this unhinged bad guy. I don't know. It's just so easy now to change these Lionheart guys into these enemies, these villains. But you really got to make sure you're doing it with the right guy. And I don't think they're going to do a right choice with Johnny Gargano here. And as soon as I saw that, I knew, oh, here we're going to see a DIY fucking reunion. They're going to give the NXT fans what they want. And surprise, fucking surprise. You didn't see that one from a mile away. They do their finisher, the DIY, obviously, Tommaso Ciampa, or whatever the fuck the guy's name is, comes down and interferes in the match. And they do their DIY finisher on Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano wins. Good little bit of trickery there, but seeing that one come from a mile away, pairing those guys up again. How Tommaso Ciampa is the fucking champ, I have no clue for NXT. It's a dark day for NXT Championship right now with that dude being the champion. The one thing, the best thing, Morrow announcing on that match was had the best line when Aleister Black was standing on the ropes trying to climb up, and Johnny Wrestling kicks the ropes. And he falls down, hits his nuts, and he goes, "He jingled his bells." I really pissed myself laughing when I heard that.
Morrow's a great announcer.
Yeah, one of the best, if not the best in the world right now. Mauro Ranallo, love you on the show.
I'd say right now he's the best announcer for combat sports in general.
Who else does, the main thing for boxing, like all the main events for boxing? He does wrestling on NXT. Could have been on, he had his problems with JBL, and to be on Pride, and to do, he does Bellator as well.
That other one? It was before Strikeforce.
Oh, Elite XC. Yeah,
right?
Elite XC. Yeah, he did that too. Yep, he did that too. Can't say enough good things about Mauro Ranallo. Huge wrestling news to close out on here was the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes, who I think are fucking terrible, have apparently been, I like Cody Rhodes, but they've been offered 7 figures contracts to join WWE, and they turned it down. They're each offered a 7-figure contract, and they turned it down.
So like $1 million each. Probably?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
how
apparently
can
those guys are making pretty good money doing their own promotions.
But $1 million good?
Maybe not that good, but maybe they like the freedom and the reduced schedule kind of thing.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that's a great point. They're making more money, or probably making not as much money, but they're not working as hard, and they're much more free to be able to do their own thing. Tough call, though. Tough call. How do those guys do that? Really tough call. Well, we got a huge. At least we got some MMA to talk about next week. Coming up with UFC 232. Who replaces for the main event here? We still have Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. I don't know how that fight is in the main event. Like I said, I think it's because they want to have the 5 rounds for John Jones and Gustafsson. I think 3 rounds almost makes that fight a bit more interesting. But to have those girls go out in their mega fight, I'm really excited for that one. It could easily be the main event. And then we have Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa is actually trying to sue Conor McGregor for his potential lost money, because the rumor was that Chiesa was actually going to get the title shot against Khabib because Tony Ferguson had pulled out. So the next guy in line, there was already a contingency plan that Michael Chiesa was going to get that fight. But since he got injured in the bus attack, he couldn't go to that fight. That's what his whole thing is. That's why he's suing Conor McGregor right now. He's lost a potential amount of a lot of money. And I think he wins the case. We'll find out.
What a little rat.
Dude lost a ton of money for a random dolly being tossed, and he got injured. And that's his fault?
Well, I think this sounds a little bit like the Steve Moore incident,
Where
the guy's trying to sue for his potential earnings. I mean, come on.
Come on, man. I think he's got a case, man. I think he's got a case.
I think he could have been champ and making millions.
According
He
to
would have been the next GSP, right?
according to his lawyer, he thinks so.
Multi-belt champion.
I was gonna be the next Brock Lesnar. WWE was gonna sign me. I was gonna do movies like The Rock.
I think he could have been fighting Alexander Gustafsson that night.
Yes, he could have been.
in the main
Exactly.
event.
Yep. He could have been.
It's a potential thing that could have happened.
This set forced
He's
a
getting called
sequence
up
of
right now.
events where he did not stumble across a bag of money in the park.
Yep. He's gonna sue somebody. That's a good
Connor
case.
owes him that bag of money.
That's a good
I
case.
think he does deserve money though, for sure.
That's a very good case. What other fight we got in there? Corey Anderson versus Latifi. That should be actually a good fight too. I can see someone getting knocked out. Chad Mendes versus Volkanovski. That should be. We got Honor Arlovsky versus Walt Harris. That should actually be a really good fight on the undercard. It looks like even. Kat Zingano was even on it against Megan Anderson. Peter Yan versus Douglas Andre. BJ Penn, at least.
BJ Penn.
I know, yeah. Ryan Hall.
Then that looks like it's on like the prelims.
Yeah, it's like on the pre-prelims.
How is BJ Penn not on the main card?
Brian Keller versus Montel Jackson. Nathan Woods, Andre Elwell. Oh, even Uriah Hall's on the pre.
Like, super early.
Yeah, Uriah Hall versus Bevan Lewis, and then Curtis Millender. Versus that Badaharazi guy. What the hell has he been up to lately? Fighter from Afghanistan. But he was like knocking dudes out left, right, and center. Actually, a pretty deep card, actually. Yeah, and he's on a 3-fight win streak right now, too. All by finish, too. So that actually could be a good fight, too. Good card. We'll have to do... Maybe we'll do some kind of...
So is the John Jones fight still happening as of now, or?
No, it's not.
It's
as of right
canceled.
now, it is canceled and moved.
I thought the location was just moved.
Yeah. It's just they're not going to do it on the one coming up now because like that was the fight that was going to be this weekend, right? You know what I mean? He was supposed to fight.
Yeah, because I guess they can't move the whole card because people bought tickets, right? Although,
Are you saying the whole card has been moved?
I would want to be reimbursed anyway.
Oh
if
my
I
God.
paid a certain amount, thinking I'm going to see
if
John
the whole
Jones.
card has been moved, that's even huger
You know
news.
what I mean? Like, say you paid, like, some of these seats are pretty expensive. Say you
Yeah.
drop like $400 on your seats, thinking you're going to be sitting fairly close to the cage for John Jones versus Gustafsson. Now you're not going to see
Moved
that
to
fight?
Los Angeles on 1 week's notice. So it looks like 1 week's notice to move to Los Angeles.
Oh my god!
So it is actually moved.
Oh my god!
So they're gonna refund the people's tickets that bought them in. Where was it originally?
That's
Vegas?
even crazier.
UFC moved the
No, it was in
event to
California.
Los
No, I think it was in California. Oh no, that wasn't this the. No, yeah. This one was in.
No, Toronto was the last one.
Yeah.
Toronto gets all the best cards.
So it looks like the Nevada State Athletic Commission doesn't have proper time to investigate in order to keep John Jones cleared to fight at the UFC 232 in Las Vegas. The promotion is moving the entire event to the Forum in Inglewood, California, just outside Los Angeles. That's what Dana White said.
Crazy. So they're going from Las Vegas to California.
This California State Athletic Commission will approve the license for John Jones.
Wow.
So just to have him fight on the card before he's suspended again, they're willing to move the whole card.
Wow. Talk about shady tactics. Whew, that is dirty.
Might be the last time John Jones fights this year or next year. Rather.
But how hurting is the UFC for money to have to change to fucking be like, no, we can't let this fight not go on with already the card in January being canceled. That this card could have been canceled. What a hit for the first quarter of the year for the UFC. But wow.
Well, I mean, he is one of their biggest stars for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably, like, if it wasn't for all his problems, he'd probably be known as, like, one of the best of all time at this point.
I'm just quite surprised they aren't just canceling the fight and moving the fight to another time.
And, like, he might actually be in DC's position where he would be light heavyweight and heavyweight champ if it
Easily.
wasn't for these issues,
Yeah,
right?
easily. I could totally see that. No, he's definitely one of those dudes who could have easily been the heavyweight champ if he would have gone up. I couldn't see any dude hanging with him when it comes to that. Absolutely not. Oh man, what a show! Longest show to date here. That's what having help on this show does. More to talk about. I hope you guys enjoy everything we talked about this week. Lots of wrestling, no MMA. We had our year in review this year. We'll have next show. What's coming up next year? Where does the world of MMA take us? Is it good? Is it bad? What about wrestling? We'll Will somebody eventually force Daniel Bryan to eat meat in a meat match?
Match.
Yeah, in a meat match. Meat on a pole match.
Sounds hot.
And the loser the loser has to eat the meat. So and then if the other guy would win, he'd have to buy a Prius and just drive an electric car for a month. That was it. That was the other that'd be if the other guy lost. So everything coming up this year, we'll talk more about it on the next show. Show number 16 in the book. Welcome aboard, Morgan. Super excited to see the future of this show. As always, the organic evolution for both my co-host, Morgan, and producer extraordinaire, Kelly. My name is Steven, and you've been listening to the new podcast. Signing off.
God's bidet.